What up, Wonderkins? Are you ready to get lost in what Wonderland? It's time to play everyone's favorite game, Who is on Stream? So you know it's me. If you don't know my voice, that's whatever. But who is guest number 2? Oh my god, I can't do that bit twice. Oh, how would you know? Flare your microphone, please. I've got a microphone flare up right now.
It is. My microphone is flared. Hello, welcome to the ICL. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah,
This
you
is
guys
like I feel like the Masked Singer. Like you guys have to just know my voice.
Trust me, they're not gonna guess. That's the thing. These guys, they're stone cold. They're early, but they're like, I'm not playing your game. I haven't gotten to play once, but they're still not guessing, which means I guess we can show our face. But just so you guys know, you could have won $1 million and now you won nothing. So it's important to know. But I guess Wonder will show our faces when he's ready. But right now he's typing and he can't do both. Okay, never mind. So you guys still have time to slam in your guesses on Who's That Voice.
We're still workshopping that one.
Yeah, it's rough. We hear you, if that makes you feel better. Well, but you can't hear that I can hear you. That's so sad. Chat, are they saying something like I can't see it? Because chat is just stonewalling me like. Oh, but that was 4 minutes ago. Trudeau has not said a single thing then, and I took that personal.
And I took that personally.
I'm gonna have to figure out why I can't hear you guys. Hold on.
When in doubt, just. I mean, the good news is we can hear you. We can hear that. That's what a conundrum. Okay,
give me a thumbs up if y'all can hear me.
All right, I'm giving a thumbs up.
You got one. Oh yeah.
Man, what in the world? Let me leave and come back. Oh goodness.
Oh my goodness.
How does he see us?
They did. To be fair, if they got it wrong, I'd be like, there's like 3 women in the community. Anyway, there's more. They're all on Instagram. I go on Instagram and I'm like, whoa, you guys are killing it over here. I was happy because I had 800 followers and I was like, how many does Rebecca have? 7,000. Instagram's a different world. All right, Rod. If you can hear me, spoiler alert, Rod's. You don't have to guess. Well, to be fair, no one guessed the second person. They like listen.
Nobody knows.
Yeah.
How can they not guess who that is? Can you hear us, Rod?
Because we got to give him a fun fact. It's like in the 3rd grade, he fell from a tree and sprained his ankle. Who could it be? Is it A, Luke? Is it B, Rodney? Is it C, Katie? Is it D, Mystery Voice?
Yeah. These guys, they don't want to play. They say, reveal the card. They said, we're not here to play games. Oh, my goodness.
They can see us now.
Oh.
Hey!
Buenos dias.
Hello there, guys.
You want to see the card? You'd like to see the reveal card? All right, we could have some guesses first based on how somebody is
I like how it's like one of us is dressed on theme.
Yes. There's multiple guesses. There's multiple
One of these
themes.
things is not like the other.
Yeah, so there's a few guesses.
Hints.
But, it could be, it could be a guy, we are not here to games. I thought this was a Fortnite stream. First off, what are you talking about? I don't understand that joke. But no, we're here to talk about the ICL. It's ICL Wednesday, but before ICL Wednesday, it's #Random Jafar reveal season. We're in it. We're so deep inside of reveal season. And one of us is dressed with a hint.
I'm dressed with a hint as well.
Are you now?
Yeah, they're revealing Pirates of the Caribbean.
My colors are the hint.
To be fair, your lighting gives us a lot of questions. I know red.
I'm wearing green. You can't tell, but the green screen doesn't take out the dark green shirt somehow. So that's nice. And we got the red vest.
If you got closer, it does look more.
It's a vest item.
Yeah. It's actually an equipment, and it is red vest. When you wear this vest.
A vest item is kind of a hint. Yeah, like I might be undermining you with that hint, but like it is a little bit of a hint there.
Let me look at this. Let me look at this book.
All right, are we ready? I think we've teased it enough. Sure, there you go. I think this card's pretty sick. I'm pretty stoked about it. Like I'm all about Emerald Ruby having an archetype to do, and this like kind of leans towards it. You get to play discard. It's another discard effect, which could be rough, but it's not in steel. It's not an amethyst. So like I just tweeted out, I really want to play this on like turn 4. I want to make them discard a card, pump my Ursula 2, take something out, and then play another discard, like a sudden chill or something with my extra 2, or play another character. Play 2 of these, take out a 5-drop, take out a Pluto.
I do like what Pudding just said. It also reads kill an illusion. You mean banish?
Get rid of a card, banish an illusion. Like I think this card's pretty good. Pretty good.
Yeah. I like how these split cards are starting to have like one identifying factor of a green card, or excuse me, an emerald card, and then one identifying factor of a ruby card. Like we just saw Pull the Lever, which also had like a discard effect or a draw effect. And now we're getting this discard effect or a pump effect. So I like that they're doing these split cards that kind of touch into both of the inks and what their identities are. So really cool. Really cool.
It's really charming how they do that.
So what you did there.
Yeah, some people might get that one. Others might.
Well, guys, since y'all can't hear me, I'm just gonna bounce.
Oh no!
Cool card, though. Cool card. Very cool card.
Cool card. He's like, awesome card.
Oh, no.
All right.
You're like, cool card. I'm out.
Oh. Well, all right. Someone already made the joke that I was like, people won't make that joke, but they did. And listen, get your head out of the gutter, Markov. But he is trying to be stealthy. I don't know why he has the wrench. It does not look like that wrench is the appropriate size for the task at hand. But it looks like he's got a
it looks like
orb.
He disassembled the scarab and pulled out whatever is inside of it. We don't know what could that be.
Yeah, it kind of looks like a Vitalis here. Because but it obviously doesn't give rush. But I mean, if we look at Ruby Chromacron and lots of other these like Ruby items, they have lots of little things. Things. So, Keto, what are you? Okay. Banish. Wait, I'm a mod. All right, everyone's out. I'm kicking everyone out of the chat. But anyway, I am dressed as Milo from this scene. I didn't want to dress as that Milo because he's got the guns out. It's summer, sun's out, guns out. Yeah, it's exciting. I think it is fun, and it is uncommon. How do you think this will be in limited? I think it's fine because it gives you. I mean, it's not great.
Good.
It's fine.
I think it's good. It's inkable.
Yeah.
Gives you 2 different effects,
Combat
which
tray.
it's like 2 cards in one essentially. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, so never mind. It's fine. I would give this probably a 3.5 to 4 in limited. But,
if you had to choose one or the other, like Pull the Lever does, I would say less good.
Yeah.
But because it gives you both effects, solid.
And there's times where you're like, I gotta get this guy, and I have no removal, and so getting some strength feels good. It feels good to say, finally. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Like Ed said, discard in limited is disgusting. It's disgusting in all times, but yeah, definitely limited. Where you're like, I don't have any cards, dude. I'm on 1 card. I'm top decking for the rest of this game.
Yeah, 2-for-1s, OP, so good.
OP,
and
very
this
good.
Kind of does it. Like they're especially if it's a bomb that costs like 6 or 7, they're probably down to 1 or 2 cards left. So you either make it so it's even harder for them to get to their bomb because they need the cards to ink, right? And you're taking away one of their early threats or the card that's trying to like slowly whittle your stuff away.
And if you have a 2-powered character on turn 1 and they like quest with Daisy on turn 2, you could like play this, discard a card, and then trade into the Daisy or something. So I think it's going to be interesting. It obviously the strength of this card will depend a lot on what the rest of the Ruby Emerald synergy looks like. I know it's kind of been a little lackluster for quite some time, unfortunately, but maybe this will be the big moment. Maybe we'll finally get something really cool.
Oh yeah.
Me hopes. What kind of
I'm a
book is
fan
that
of this
actually, Katie? I see.
It's the Shepherd's Journal. Thank you very much. But it is actually it's a encyclopedia. And after I bought it, because I bought it for this color and the fact that it was hardbound, I found out Atlantis is in this one. It was the A, and I was like, that's magical.
That is awesome.
Thank you for asking. It smells very aged, so but I adapted it so that people. Whatever. We need more props. If you have a card reveal, if you don't have a prop, are you even revealing a card? Or are you,
it's a cool prop.
Obviously
cool prop.
not.
Do illusions get banished? Well, they get poofed. I imagine every time an illusion gets banished, it goes. That's what I imagine.
Like when you pop a bubble.
Yeah.
It better make that noise too.
Yep. Very fun. I'm pretty sure Lyle Paverius or Crichton and Bambi's mom are not in the Shadow Realm. Sometimes I turn into ink. Grammatala. You strike me down, I'll become more powerful than you could ever imagine in the inkwell. So, some people get banished. Whatever. So we got to talk about. All right. Well, do you want to keep talking about this card?
We can swap over. I think there'll be plenty of discussion on this card on various social media things. We can move to the match.
Yeah, and don't crop us out. If you're listening, hey, if I see this on Instagram later and it's just that card in the middle, I'm calling
it. Already
out.
is.
I'm gonna say
it probably is already.
It's already. I know. If I go to Reddit right now, I'll be like, dang it, they cut me out, or like they'll just cut out my side.
You got to do it like the TikTokers that just put like their head floating in the middle. That's like the only way to like get around it. Just gotta kind of insert yourself into the text.
You cannot censor me.
All right. Well, we're gonna discuss the Illuminati first, I do believe.
And this is an interesting matchup because the Illuminati, they're like, oh, we're everywhere. But the Loungers are actually everywhere. Like they have 4,000 team members. So between these two teams, 80% of America is represented.
Absolutely.
It's really impressive.
Well, we're going to start here with Nassif.
Who earlier I said, is he some sort of medical professional? And Skinner said, he is a DJ. So I confused him with another player card. But tell us a bit about Nassif and his DJing business.
Yeah, Nassif, super cool guy, very down to earth. Loves the game. He's very competitive, and his little side gig is he's very into electronic music in general. And you'd have to ask him to plug his Twitch and stuff. But I know him and his buddy do like their own little DJ sets on Twitch and stuff. So if you ever just want to vibe out, maybe in the background while you're playing some Lorcana, check Nassif out. He's a super cool dude, and definitely check him out. I don't know. I'll let him plug it, but definitely worth the checkout. For sure.
Oh, and he also has
give me some music I can play on stream that won't get me struck down.
No, he's gonna do it, and then he's gonna strike you down. And I think that'd be.
And then along came Zeus out of the top rope.
He also has what could be considered the coolest streaming room I've ever seen. I was like, "Are you live from some sort of collector's store?" And he's like, "No, this is my."
That's where he does his DJ sets and stuff too. Yeah, it's very vibey. So.
But also kind of weird because when he was streaming like at least 4 members of Illuminati, and I was like, "Are you guys in like a content creator house? Like, you guys all live together?" They
look close enough.
All right. It's not a content creator house. It's like Illuminati, get out of the bunk beds. It's time to do a stream.
It's like the Squid Games. Like they just live in one big room with like all the bunks, and they all just get out.
Spoilers.
They sound the whistle. Yeah. All right. So Luke, who do we have here? If you don't know this person, what are you doing?
Who's this guy?
I think a lot of people are here for Gabe here.
Gabe, use checkout code Gabe's Got Eggs, and you get 10% off at Red's Farm Farms. But yeah,
he really is missing out on a great sponsorship there.
He is, I know. To be fair, that Twitter account that he found remarkably has not been active since like 2018. So apparently the egg business,
thank God.
They said, wait a minute, do we need Synergy Online? Apparently not.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, Gabe, great dude. Obviously one of my co-hosts for SSG events, great friend of mine, and just an awesome dude all around. And I know he was really excited to play here to show off his skills. He feels like, us casters, we don't get to play as much, so maybe people think that we're washed. But I know JDZ was saying, it's wash players. But Gabe's out here. He said, I'm going to show JDZ what the truth is. So we're going to find out.
It's important to know JDZ. We can see him right now, and he's sitting in front of his champion mat. So he's like, no one shall question my credentials henceforth. But yeah, he does have here. Did you already read what's on his card?
I did. Or I've read it out loud. I have not.
Yeah, because it's important that that he was a winner of a Cindy Playmat. He is the voice of Lorcana at SSG premiere events, which I like that like, so you can go to an event, but then there's premiere events. And then, to be fair, you guys' events are, not you guys, but either way, it's great. Proud son of Mike Sr. from Freedom Gaming. So I think it's really important that, we know he did, Mike Sr. was really crushing it this weekend, and I think Gabe was. It's really cool to see your dad do so well. So, congratulations, Gabe, on your father doing so well on Sunday or Saturday. And,
is this a meme or?
I don't know. He put it. He told me to put it on the card, so I just did it, and I was like, well, "You can't skip over it because he typed it."
It's not actually his dad, but that's hilarious.
He's everybody's dad, right?
And he's a co-captain. And
that's funny.
Yeah. To be fair, proud son.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, it's the boy.
The boy?
Mr. Freddie
the boy.
Rivera.
That's what
he's the boy. The boy in the night. This is Freddie Rivera from Team Illuminati, obviously. I don't know his dog's name, but he or she is beautiful. And Freddie, notorious Amber Steel player down south. He pretty much has been playing it since I met him, day one. I believe the first time I ever played him, he turned one Neverland, and it's been the same ever since. So yeah, he's definitely a master of his craft when it comes to Amber Steel, and he's taken it to many set champs, many tournaments, and done very well. So yeah, I'm excited to see him. So you see some of his credentials here. First at SSG 10K, 7th at the SSG 8K, multiple set champs, and DLC Las Vegas judge. So he has got his fingers in the other pots too, in the other jars. So he's also a judge. So shout out to Freddie, awesome dude, and yeah, I'm excited to see him if he's going to be bringing Amber Steel again, or if he's going to be whipping up something new in the wheelhouse.
It's really cool to note that we have Gabe's brother in the chat, Freedom Gaming, Mike Jr., which, sometimes there's that rivalry, but he says, I have a brother, so, this is Jerry Springer, and today, so come on out, Mike Sr. Anyway, just want to make sure that there's follow-up in the chat.
Exactly.
Right. Well, let's swap on over to the Lorcana Loungers, and let's start off with JDZ. Why don't you?
Oh man, I wasn't even expecting.
He just poured it in here.
I know his poor shirt. He's being green screened into the abyss.
just fire all over his shirt.
The fire that is burning within me.
How much did you pay for that shirt? That's really cool.
Flaming. I am the heat. Okay, I am the night. As we got King Louis from the Lorcana Loungers is going to be in here. I mean, King Louis, definite hottie. Okay, Illuminati, they had some hotties as well, but I think King Louis. I'm kidding. That's my joke.
It's every time he goes on, he's like, "You're hot, and I like that. You're nice." And I try
to be. As we got set champs winner, unknown amount at least.
No, he did not specify, and I said, "You know what? I like that. Leave it ambiguous."
I think it just wins them all. Okay, won all the set champ. Top top 16, top 64 DLC in Lille. Okay, coming in from Europe, and top 64 DLC in Birmingham. So we got a little bit of the European connection. We're staying up late, waking up early. I like the grind. I like the tenacity. I like what I see here with King Louis. What do you guys think about this player?
It is absolutely midnight in London town, which we don't know if he's from London. He could be somewhere else in Europe, but either way. I'm excited. I mean, he's the king. I mean, hashtag redeem points in the chat, but I'm the king, baby. Which I forget that's a redemption.
I'm the king, baby.
I sometimes just think Luke is self-assuring himself while I'm watching his stream. Luke is just like, I'm the king. But either way.
Every time someone does one of those drops, I think it's Luke doing it himself.
Yes,
I don't think it's the drop. I think I hear him doing it.
I'm the king.
You should hear my son do it. It's adorable.
Oh wow. He's the prince. All
right. Well, Rude Rose, why don't you tell us about the next player?
Are you just making people like
oh my God.
Stay alert, stay alive out there, okay?
Pouring in people.
It's like a genie. He rubs a lamp, and I just poof, and I'm like, all right, what do you need? I'm here. All right, this one is Franz Borden from Traverse Tavern, Lorcana Loungers, and some credentials here are top 64 at DLC Dallas, top 64 at DLC Vegas, very impressive. DLC NA Continentals LCQ finalist. Again, not an easy thing to accomplish. And of course, a bird enthusiast. Who doesn't love that? I've got my own bird feeders right outside as well. Got a new suet feeder attracting grackles and cardinals and sparrows and finches. So he's got that might not be the birds he was thinking of, but it's the birds I was
I
thinking
think he
of.
just enjoys Diablo, but we'll pretend that he also likes
I'm gonna
wild
pretend he
birds.
likes
I think he likes
He's
actual
a birder.
birds.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, looking at the suit, what do you guys think of the suit? He's got the suit, he's got the tie, he's got the pose. Super hard right swipe here, very professional. He's not lounging. He's locked in. He's laser focused. I want to hire this guy to defend me in a trial.
I was thinking that. I was like, I don't know how well he plays cards, but man, I want him to, like run my business or do my account.
Represent me for something.
He's nice. He's a nice guy. We traded for Cindy Matt and D23 Mickey. So we were doing some we got special goods trades, and also he let me play with his. Well, actually, no, he had to give first chapter cards to Breezy because he lost fantasy football. So I had to give a whole box of first chapter to Breezy, and we played sealed. I did beat both of them. I just wanted to bring that up because casters can play stuff sometimes, but it did feel kind of mean to do that.
I was going to say, does it count if you're all casters? But I guess he is a player. So.
No, he's a player, and he's actually quite good. I played against him with, I think he's playing Emerald Steel discard, and he did teach me that when you play Pete, you have to go, wait. And I still do that to that day.
All right, well, why don't we have Lofi introduce us to the last person?
Oh, my goodness.
Hey,
The
guys.
Brady Bunch.
We got Braden from the Lorcana Loungers. He's got a top 32 DLC Fort Worth, top 8 CCS Sunday 5K. That's a big tournament coming up again. 1 Rockstar Stitches. Okay.
6 of them.
6.
Yeah, you
So
can't just say
that's
one.
a known quantity.
Yeah, he
it's not
counted
an
them.
unknown quantity.
Yeah.
And then collects Game Boys. I wonder if he's got the old school silver.
Yeah, you can use that as a weapon. All right, everybody. What color was your Game Boy Pocket? And if you're too young, you're kicked off the show. All right.
I like that.
Translucent purple.
Translucent purple's the only answer.
Translucent neon, man. That translucent neon.
I had silver, and I went, oh.
Silver.
I know, because I'm there's 3 of us, so it's kind of like we all get different colors. And one of you's getting silver, and it was little old Katie. But either way, these things stick with you.
Okay, I like that trophy as well.
Let's quickly go through predictions so we can start this match. Let's go with Katie first. Scholars first.
Well, judging by my Shepherd's Journal that I brought here, and you guys should all clap, thank you. I think that I don't know. I think knowing that Gabe's there and he is all hopped up on eggs right now, I think that that's gonna carry. He's the anchor here, and he wants to do his dad proud. So I think because of that, I'm leaning towards Illuminati because of that energy. But I wouldn't bet against the Loungers because, like I said, 50% of America's on that team. But I'm going to do it tonight. Why not? I'm going to go with the Illuminati. They believe in Poglet. I believe in them. And, but maybe we'll both win. I don't know. It's so hard to go first. I'm going to bounce it to Lofi. You have to go now.
Okay, well, as far as the icons go, I love the Loungers. Pooh is chilling, but I got to go with Illuminati. I got Gabe's back here. He's one of us.
Yeah, he might make you eat egg if you don't say he's going to win. He'll be like, can I offer you an egg in these troubling times?
Don't do it.
Oh, yeah, you ate one, didn't you? Are you okay?
Still recovering.
Okay. Thank you for joining us. Yeah.
Dude,
All
Skinner
right, now,
almost died.
pass to Luke.
It's like you knew I had muted myself in 2 things. The skill there. Oh. Well, I mean,
I saw the subtle.
I did take the picture down of Braden, but how can you vote against? How can you root for someone who doesn't have a giant trophy like that? That's not a playmat he's holding up. That is a trophy, and that is a gorgeous trophy. So obviously he's a winner. So we're gonna have to say winner, winner, chicken dinner, Lorcana Loungers in 3.
In 3. Okay.
Okay.
It's always in 3. I don't know
It's
how the
always in
games
3
go.
at the ICL.
All he knows is it makes JDZ laugh, and he's going to keep doing it.
Sorry. I'll stop laughing. I'll stop encouraging.
No,
He's like,
I'll
I just
never-
want to make JDZ laugh, please.
Well, JDZ, while you're giggling away,
Okay.
what's your prediction?
All right, listen. I got full faith and confidence in the team that I'm going to pick, okay? Because I got faith in Freddie, okay? I like chaotic beats, okay? And I got faith in Gabe because I know for a fact Gabe, under these bright lights, he's got something to prove. And I mentioned this on my stream on the pre-show to the pre-show. I said Gabe's going to be in the dojo. He's going to be training. He's going to be putting up reps because he's going to try to make a case for himself being a great player tonight. He's going to use the ICL to do that. He's not going to be out here misplaying. He's going to show up ready to ball out. I think that the Illuminati is going to come in with the 3-game sweep. I think Gabe's going to clean it
the
up.
sweep.
I think they're coming in strong. They're putting the sweep together.
Sweep.
They're gonna put the Lorcana Loungers back into the. I don't think the Loungers are going to take it nearly as serious as Gabe and Chaotic Beats and Freddy are going to take the night. High pressure situation. Pressure makes diamonds. I think that the Illuminati are going to take it down in 3. Full game sweep.
That would be pretty impressive. And if Illuminati got the full game sweep, that would put them in possible contention. They are 1 win, 1 loss, but they only have 2 set wins so far, and they do need to increase that because that's really what it's based on. Where Enter the Battlefield's got that 7. And
what about you, Skinner? Who do you think's gonna take it down?
Oh yeah, this is close to home for you.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta go with my home team. You know, I gotta root for Illuminati. Those are my boys. I think Loungers has a great squad as well, obviously, and could go either way. But I just can't imagine my boys are gonna let me down. So I'm going Team Illuminati. And if Gabe doesn't win his match, then you won't be seeing him in the booth with me any longer.
Wow.
High stakes.
Talk to me, Red Rose. What do you think?
I always make my predictions based on logos. I gotta admit, I'm not really feeling the Illuminati logo. Like, if you took the 2 white triangles off the edge, it actually does kind of look like an ink symbol, you know, similar to maybe like an amethyst or emerald combination.
Okay.
But on the other side, you've got Winnie the Pooh in a chair, all dressed up. And ladies and gentlemen, who doesn't enjoy a classy Pooh? I'm going with the Loungers.
All right, shut it down.
Fair news. Fair enough.
Well, I do believe we're gonna hop over to the game now. So that's some good predictions. Let's see who's right and who is not. So everyone except for Rude Rose and I can wave bye.
Bye.
Boom, here we are.
And here we are. And then there were 2, to paraphrase Agatha Christie.
So you had a match, an LCCC match today that I so rudely streamed during.
I did.
How did that go?
Quite all right. Yeah, this is my 3rd stream for the day. It was Harlan Sweet versus Humza, I believe. It was really good. Very back and forth. I'd highly recommend you guys go check that out on my Twitch.
Definitely
or my
going to have to go
channel.
check that out.
Yeah,
Yeah, don't spoil it then.
I won't say anything about it. But it was good. It was a good back and forth. As we see Nassif go ahead and ink a turn 1 Tamatoa happy as a clam for that classic popsicle. Are we going to see a Bell trade out as well? Nope, not so much.
I love the puppy inkwell tokens using the Disney sleeves. And, you know, some people said that the sleeves break easily with heavy use. This is one way to be able to always use them and not really care. Yeah. Maybe get some outer sleeves for your sleeves.
Can confirm they do break with heavy use. So if you want to keep those in good condition, either use them in a token fashion or use them with over sleeves. As King Louis, looks like we're having a pretty slow start here. Luke just inks a 2nd card and passes. Nothing on the board yet.
I didn't see what the ink was.
It was a bell, the 3-cost inventor bell.
Oh, so do we think we're on Blurple and we just drew like we missed the ramp?
Yeah, maybe. Yes, so here we go with Sale on the Nassif's side. Says, okay, well, I'm a ramp deck, so the more time you give me, the happier I am. And it looks like Nassif is playing Mono Sapphire right now. I don't think we've seen a non-Sapphire card hit this board.
Well, it looks like we're probably on an item build since there's a coil. I think that tends to be the main shift and difference between them is how many items they play that are not popsicle.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got a mirror.
Oh, okay, so this will probably be a Ruby Sapphire mirror. Unless we're seeing something crazy and it's like an under-the-sea Emerald Sapphire build. You know, coil does help with under-the-sea, so maybe. But probably not. We are seeing, I'm glad to see Maurice's Workshop come out here. For those of you who thought item or that the card draw in Sapphire really got hurt by Flaversham, which of course it did, Maurice's Workshop is here to tell you, no, I don't think so. As we continue to see Mono Sapphire on Nassif's side, we see a Great Stone Dragon going to the Inkwell and a How Far I'll Go come off the top. We have not seen a non-Sapphire. Maybe this is Mono Sapphire.
Somehow I don't think that's true, but it is the Illuminati. Who knows?
Right? Yeah.
Anything could happen.
Tech. We don't know. Well, normally a start this
Still
slow,
nothing.
like, it's a good thing King Louis isn't going against an aggro deck because it might be in trouble at this point. But...
Exactly. Oh, and now Nassif says, you know what? I have the ramp and the card draw.
There's the color.
And that's really what King Louis did not want to see. Before that, King Louis could have maybe relied on hoping that Nassif kind of just has one or two big characters that he can easily answer. Like if Nassif just played a crab there to get a single popsicle back, he can answer that with a Maui, and it's only a 1 card, right? It's not a huge advantage. But showing this now, even just getting back 1 item, like, is 2 cards. The workshop is going to do some work here, but each player kind of has it. While Nassif is a little bit ahead on ink, this matchup was probably going to take a while, and it can be anyone's game until some crazy thing happens that the other player can't answer. It's up in the air.
Based on the board state so far, Luke, I'm going to be surprised if this 1 isn't a grind, and 2, if we actually see like questing out through this game. I've imagined we're going to be in for some Tamatoa Lucky Dime burst to 10 or 15 or 20 turns.
So King Louis, I'm assuming, was on the play, and I missed that, based on the fact that he has 6 ink to Nassif's 6 ink, and Nassif has ramped twice. But that Fishbone Quill doing a good job of kind of equalizing the ramp so far. But another, how far?
Oh my goodness. The ultimate gentleman's game, if you will, just saying, no, you play. Oh, no, go ahead, you play too. Okay, I'll ink and then you play.
So I wonder if this is actually a hybrid list. They're just everywhere. Like Coil, Workshop, Vitalosphere, but also Visions and How Far I'll Go. Maybe Nassif's on like a 70 card pile, also running the Shark. I would assume that they would have Shark in their list if they're running both of those actions to boot.
Well, and speaking of Shark,
crab,
I can 100% say this is the longest I've seen a Lorcana game go where neither person has put a single character on the field. Not one. It's just been all no typos, nothing. Just all right, items and ramp. I
don't remember what it was, but I remember someone messaging that there was a long grind matchup that the first lore wasn't gained until like 30 minutes into the match or something like that, and it's just like, oh crazy. No.
Well, I think that we might be in for that. So, what you mentioned the time as we see our first character finally come down, and we know he is happy
as a naked crab.
No items to recur though. Wow.
Yeah, just walked outside, forgot its coat. It's cold. Like, you're in a freeze there, crabby boy. You're not made for winter weather. It's kind of intriguing. Why are we getting aggressive with this crab? What is in Louis' hand? This is what he's doing.
Got to be a dime, right? Like, surely you're trying to cheat in a lucky dime, unless we just absolutely ran out of every other option. That's got to be it.
Like, that'll at least let us draw a card. Like, it allows Nassif to play a dragon if he wants.
Yeah, and we're already at dragon territory, which is pretty crazy. A dragon that will be reprinted, we know, and for that, it's a set 9 set championship promo, right?
Yeah, I do believe that was what they had said they did.
That nice alternate
another workshop.
Nope, no dragons yet. So we're gonna put down a workshop, which will trigger our first workshop. We can pay 1 ink, which looks like we're opting not to do actually. Huh.
So I think the next thing I need to add is like a one of those bars where it says where we predict who we think is slightly more advantage based on the play spot. And I'm pretty sure Nassif is in a pretty commanding spot right now.
Absolutely.
Even with King Louis sneaking a diamond next turn and drawing a card. I mean, he's not that far behind.
Yeah,
but
and we see the free Scrooge McDuck come down as well. Correction, he actually was using the workshop. He was just paying the ink all at once, so he paid 4 for the workshop, indicating 3 for the workshop, and then 1 to show the card draw. Well, I hope Louis does have this dime to counter then, because otherwise, I'm not 100% sure what putting the Tamatoa out did if we're not about to GM a free lucky dime into play. Or perhaps another workshop would not be terrible either. He finally passes the turn. We go to draw on Louis' side. And are we about to see some monkey business from King Louis?
Maybe his friend Baloo will pop in out of nowhere and gain
that would be shocking to see Baloo.
We're playing
there it is.
Marvel versus Capcom. Just have the tag team wipe in out of nowhere and Baloo.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you go, let's go. You tag him in, and so Lucky Dime does come down. Lucky Dime also accompanied by Maurice's Workshop card draw. Popsicle, a fantastic way to keep drawing cards, as well as Popsicle with 1 extra ink now turns into another draw thanks to that Maurice's Workshop. And yeah, Louis doesn't have the ramp, but I mean, he does have that Lucky Dime in play, so he could just start tapping it, hitting this crab. Scrooge is not enough on its own. We could burn that Vitalosphere to take out the crab, or we'd have to commit another character to the board to help with the Tamatoa. As there is a Sapphire Coil.
I think they're using the opposite ink lore things that they were supposed to. So let's...
Yeah, because Nassif has it at 2 lore. That should be on Louis' side, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And then he should be at 9. I was like, wait a minute, something seems off here. And the king can still ink twice for turn, natural ink as well as the fishbone quill. Can use 2 of that for the lucky dime. Can spend 1 more if we have perhaps some other small item. And just as a warning, folks, because I did hear the thunder just now, looks like there's a thunderstorm headed its way to me. So if I randomly disappear, I'll come back as quickly as I'm able to. Fingers crossed that doesn't happen, but you never know. Just want to prep everybody. There we go. Luke's got the lore and the ink counters finished. Louis is very much thinking about what he wants to do here. We could exert 4 of our own to play our own Scrooge. Looks like that's what we're going to do. Reese's Workshop, the quill, the coil, the popsicle. We get our own Vitalosphere and saying, hey, you think your Tamatoa is going to be big when it comes down? Check out mine. We can still ink for turn and use this lucky dime, or if we ink, we can put out the Vitalosphere and then trigger another card draw with Maurice's Workshop. Both options still available to us.
Yeah, he is showing that while he was down on workshops, he is able to sneak this diamond is some big advantage. And as you're saying, if he has the crab, we did see Nassif ink a crab a couple turns ago.
Mm-hmm. The quill really putting in some work with some extra ink. We do decide we want a little extra lore, so we're going to tag Tamatoa for an extra 2, go up to 4, and finally pass over to our opponent. I kind of hinted at it earlier. They do need to be a little cognizant of time, as this could potentially go to 3 games, and we know how grindy these matches could be. So,
to be fair, though, only 10 minutes in, and like that's
the other point,
30
right?
seconds a turn, right? Like if they've each taken around 10 turns.
And we could jump
I guess
to
it's been like 6
10,
turns, but
yeah, we could jump to double-digit lore very quickly. So it looks like Scrooge. Okay, he used the Vitalosphere to increase its damage by 2. So Scrooge hit for 6. Traded with the Tamatoa happy as a clam. We're doing a free heal. That tells me, guess who's coming down? Do-do-do-doom. Well, Tamatoa hasn't always been this glam. As we get Vitalosphere and Popsicle back, we can still ink this turn, play the Popsicle, use both of the workshop triggers, and we're drawing 3 cards. That's really good. Flaversham? Flaversham who? Who needs that guy?
Yeah, it would be interesting to see if he ran out of ink tokens. He should have at least 100, unless they sell in packs of 50. I'm sure it's packs of 60 to 100.
I do like those Starry Night sleeves as well. Those are
I bet they come in packs of 99. Don't, because they're 99 puppies.
So showing that, again, paying for it all at once, technically you could put down the Popsicle, draw first, then pay, draw the next one, then pay, draw the next one. But he knows he wants to draw all 3 cards, not even worried about that. So as we ink a Tipo and put out the Vitalosphere, no way to trigger it off the ramp this time. Looks like we're going to exert another 4. Here comes another Scrooge McDuck. Turns out 4/4 that is probably going to get you an item for free. That's pretty good.
It's okay. I mean, it's no Flaversham, but not much hard. I think it does a pretty good job of replacing Flaversham. It's still it's a little easier to answer. It's not drawing as many cards over and over. I like how he's just like, I'm taking this one, I guess.
Yeah. I wonder if that was intentional or if it was, oops, I revealed it. Well, I guess I'll take it anyway.
But really, he's looking for the dime to quest in and sneak in and maybe play Tamatoa at the same time and be like, big burst, and then do it 2 times in a row.
Yeah, Tamatoa would have an extra 6 lore attached if we dropped a dime. Speaking of which, that would also be about 6 lore on King Louis' side if we can find that 8-cost Tamatoa. But maybe even too early for it. I've seen some players be like, nope, I don't even want to bring it onto the field until I know it's going 10+ in one single swoop. And there's no item hate in here, right? Like, surely we're not running a Cusco or a Hideaway. And even if we do, how slow it's going to, take away 1 item?
I mean, the dime.
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
already in play. Like, so this is the time that the one of Hideaway or Cusco shines, right? Punish him for putting it in early when he could have.
Yeah.
It also would have been okay earlier on the workshop, right?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you have your ramp, but the workshop's going to draw you so many cards. As we've seen, both players have drawn 3 or 4 cards, I think, so far, at least, with workshops.
Absolutely. Put them back in set 1 where it's like, well, you've got all this ramp, but you have no cards to draw with it, so what are you going to do with it? As the king is taking a moment to really evaluate what we want to do.
You got a few plays here. This turn's taken a little bit longer than I think we'd all like.
Yeah, and of course it's a little more difficult when we can't see their hands, so we just have to kind of guess and speculate on what plays he could make. If you have more items, I don't know if... Hey, the main thing he could be thinking about is, hey, I don't want my opponent to play a free dime off of their Tamato the way I did. Do I have a way to remove this card? Without any way to exert characters in these decks, probably he's going to have to either use a Be Prepared or... I mean, a Sisu could potentially do it, right? We have the Sapphire Coil. No, we're actually just going to... Okay, so we're going to exert to play the Scrooge. Actually going to give up the dime this turn. And then we'll check our top 4. See if we can't find an item. Match our opponent's Scrooge McDuck. And we do... Oh, the Shield of Virtue. Wow, that's a favorite back from set 1. I love that card.
He threw it down. I don't know if he was upset or just happy.
Yeah.
I mean, he does get to draw a card, and that could allow him to keep a crab safe while still using it.
And correct me, the shield, it lets you ready a character. Does it have any restrictions? Does it prevent them from questing or anything?
I'm pretty sure it cannot quest again.
Okay.
So we don't get a double quest off of it. That would be very good. It would see a bit more play if they could quest twice. Oh, it's all play in set 1. I would not want to have seen Ursula's questing for 6 in a turn.
That would have been rough.
Or Elsa's.
So we inked once with the sail. I'm assuming we're declaring Sapphire Coil on either character. Would take either of them down to 2 strength. Looks like we're potentially inking with the Quill as well. This will put us to... And yep, sure enough, there's a Sisu. She's showing the power of this Sapphire Coil, this card that everyone was worried about at the start of the set. And maybe it's not in all the lists now, but you can just see right there. 2 cards that normally would be safe from Sisu's wrath. No, not this time. The Coil comes down and banishes them to the discard.
Yeah, I mean, I personally think it's fair now. Without Flaversham giving insane amount of cards, he had to basically get Workshop online for multiple turns before being able to afford being able to ink so many times and play the Sisu. And I don't know how many cards are in his hand, if very many at all. Wow, triple Workshop.
Ooh,
I guess we already knew that, but...
And so we paid that one up front as well, paid a full 5, just knowing. Nassif, very confident, like, hey, I know I want to fully draw off of these cards. I don't need to take the individual draw step by step. And perhaps when you know you're right, you know, that potentially this could go to time too. That's something you want to do.
Yeah, we will probably be adjusting the rules of the ICL in Season 2 to force players to maintain hands on screen at all times, but we have not implemented that yet.
Always a little tricky with webcam games just because there's obviously such limited space that they're working with. But yes, of course, for integrity's sake, you want to be able to see their hands at all times. And it just helps us, the casters and the viewers at home, know how much they're working with.
Exactly.
So we haven't inked yet for turn. I was about to say we could be prepared, but no, we're just going in for the triple draw as well. Did you know a 1-cost popsicle can actually draw you 4 cards if you pay a little extra ink? I'm a little worried about not removing the Sisu, though. Like, with a dime and a quest, that's 6 lore. We see our third Scrooge McDuck. And there's our own Sapphire Coil says, sorry, sir, you are not the only one who can banish based on strength. I will do that as well.
And his is a 5-cost draw 3 cards.
Yeah. Pretty good. I don't think we've inked yet. Go ahead.
It could be a world where he just plays it and not cares. Or just draws 1 card, be like, whatever, I have more items. I'm not hurting. Oh, but he can just double ink anyways to do the same thing. Just still draw 2. Good enough, right?
Quill is so good with the Maurice's Workshop. So yeah, we could do the Coil and then just spend 2 to draw more cards. A Brawl would actually take out the Sisu right now, assuming... Or wait, did he have the Coil down? He didn't.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I am a little surprised that he went with the Grammatala, but it kind of makes sense. He has a Vitalosphere, and this way he can take out some of the characters. So
Yeah.
that's fair, I guess. But I could also just see another Sisu coming down.
Yeah.
It kind of feels to me that maybe B Prep's not in the list, but
Which is
I feel
crazy
like
that some of these lists are
Nassif
cutting
is
that.
like with all the weird cards Nassif has played, Scrooge and Grammatala. I feel like there's one or two Sharks, one or two How Far I'll Goes, like
Mhm.
2 Grammatalas, 4 Scrooges, and then like a couple sprinkles of other singletons. Like maybe this is Heffenlist or Horoffen. I can never remember what the German for pile is, how to pronounce it.
You know, technically, if we wanted to as well, we could quest with this Sisu, Luke, hit it with the Dime, that's 6, and then just ready it with the Shield of Virtue and
Yep.
just leave it up. Again, you know these decks don't have a way to exert characters, so say, hey, you have to use spot removal on this. You have to commit that Be Prepared, or the Hades, or the Let It Go. It's like something. I'm not going to let you just challenge it with this Grammatala or this Scrooge.
It looks like Zan's Haufen. Haufen, that sounds right. It looks like Zan's 5K list chat is saying. And Zan, I do believe, was just on 3 Sisus as his board wipes. I didn't realize Zan was on both of those, but now that I'm thinking about it, I do remember seeing those. It's interesting to be items and the tutor package.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what do you cut? Brawls and Be Prepared, but we know he's on. Zan was also on Brawl.
Unless you're going for that fabled 75 card list, then yeah, you're gonna have to cut something. Sisu does quest for 3. That's gonna take us all the way up to 8. I will be very shocked if a Dime does not grant her lore power this turn.
Yeah, this is has to be scary for Nassif. While he has all of the draw, he hasn't found an answer for the Dime or his own Dime or his own threat. I do believe he had his Crab in play for a turn and wasn't able to do anything, or the Sisu came in the turn after the Crab.
Yeah, the Sisu, yeah. So he got the 2 items back, but he wasn't able to play the free Dime like your opponent. I think is that another coil? What is that up there? He played some other item. It looks like it cost 3. Maybe it's a quill?
It's a Fishbone Quill, I think.
Okay, or another workshop maybe. And there's the lucky Dime. Sisu, we're going to take ourselves to 11 lore. Do we ink and then use the Shield of Virtue to keep that Sisu online? Both Scrooge are going to quest as well. It's going to take us up to 13. And we are just one shiny Tamato away from ending this game on the spot. There's the Quill. Can trigger the Sapphire Coil if we so desire. And there's the Shield of Virtue, Luke.
That's also kind of representing Lorthal in a way.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Nassif has the stuff in play to answer what's in play.
Mm-hmm.
To make it that Louis has to draw the Crab to win or another Dime.
Yeah.
And Nassif does not have 20 items in play.
No. Yeah, he's quite far away.
Nor 2 Dimes.
That Tamatoa Crab really paying dividends for King Louis right now, because like you said, it really looked like Nassif was off to such a great start with all that ramp and all that item draw, and then Louis taking a chance on that Crab, saying, you know what, I'm just going to put this out here. He didn't get any items back off of it, just saying, hey, if I can get this Dime into play for free, that's going to be huge, and so far it has been.
Well, let's see if Nassif has Be Prepareds in his list.
Do you like that he keeps doing the like full, I'm just going to pay 5 ink right now and then draw, or would you rather see him draw individually? Or,
I think right now he has to hit a Sisu. So it could be that it's right to do that if he has it or not. And he should be able to ink enough to also play a Visions this turn if he really needs to dig. Probably sing How Far I'll Go. And now we're in a spot, I think no matter what, he's probably answering a lot of stuff here.
Oh, I mean, you would hope so. With all these cards drawn, that's going to be insane if we can't find a single answer for this board. 3, 4, 5, 6. Is this Tamatoa? Maui Shark? Pirate's Life? Okay, it's a half shark. That's not a B prep, though.
Brawl probably on the
We can use Vitalisphere to give the shark rush, and then the shark can pull back any of the actions. I know we have a ton of how far I'll go in there. We've got some Develop Your Brain. I don't remember if we had any spot removal cards. So Scrooge does go
trigger.
out. Let's see, what do we have? Like I said, Brawl would be perfect. I know we got all those ramp effects. I don't know if we have a removal spell.
He might be like. It's crazy to be this far down. I'm sure he inked a Brawl early and is now like, oh, why don't I have it? There we go. We got the visions, but we don't have the ink to visions and play removal.
Yeah. We do have one Fishbone Quill, I believe. Possibly two. No, I think that's a Popsicle under the Popsicle.
Must already have the Brawl. And you shrink
Okay, I think you're
Yep.
Okay, so there's
Brawl
the Brawl.
Sisu and take out the thing, the Scroogey boy.
And now Scrooge can trade. And we should
not
have...
not even a trade because of the
Oh,
shrink.
yeah, that's right. Yeah. And should we be at 2 lore? Because we used Brawl and Visions, right? So the shark should have gained us 2 lore for that?
I do believe so. But I have chatted with judges, and while it is like something that you're supposed to remind your opponent if you see, in a DLC, a judge will not stop the game to tell people to do automatic lore triggers.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it is missed, even though it's not a May trigger.
Really? That's surprising. Huh.
Yeah, I was a little surprised when I heard that, but because
Okay.
we've stopped. I didn't stop the ad the third time, so we are in an ad right when the game's about to end because
Oops.
I'm bad at my job.
Well, I don't think Louis has the Tamatoa, because surely if he did, he would just
He was
Tamatoa
just throwing
and
it
game's
down,
over.
right?
And he's taken some time considering, so unless he just wants to really make this dramatic and draw it out, I'm assuming that card is not in hand.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing us a favor now, not doing himself a favor with the clock, but he's taking enough time to
Sisu, but no inking beforehand. Obviously, it would be very difficult to get the shark down low enough, but even a single ink could have taken at least the Tala or the Scrooge off the board. Maybe you're not worried about that.
That is interesting. That he didn't ink at all. He has a Fishbone. So how many cards does he have in hand? 1, 2?
Yeah, I'm not sure. He must have something he really wants to hold in hand. Like, that's it, right? That's the only reason you wouldn't.
Maybe another Sisu, and he's just like, fine, I'm gonna just dime.
Right.
And Nassif still has to do stuff.
Yeah, he still has to answer this Sisu every single turn it comes out.
So for those who missed it, Louis went in the tank for a while, that played Sisu and gained 3 lore, and then passed back.
Looks like a vision of the future. Merlin's going to have another vision. What can I find? Surely some spot removal to remove this Sisu. We're still a little out
Look
of the range
how few
of our
cards are left in
Oh,
Nassif's deck.
wow.
That looks like less than 10.
Yeah.
If he's not sitting on dime, he's got 17, 15 ink left, 18 ink.
We're inking again. Oh my goodness. All right, Sisu effectively has no
wait.
strength.
Did
Mini
he just
Sisu?
undo the ink? He did. Okay.
Okay, so we're doing the same thing, full draw. Not taking time. I mean, not that we're not lacking for ink, just yeah, we got to.
I hope he decks out at 2 lore.
I mean, with this deck almost empty, you might be right, Luke. Maybe there's no Be Prepared. Like,
Yeah,
surely we
it
would've
is.
seen it by now, right?
It does look like it's probably just Zan's list here. Then, yeah, no B prep, but there is the shark.
7, is this a Hades? Oh, it's our own. Okay, so it was 8 for our own Sisu. Sisu on Sisu action. We can't
I don't think we've seen any Pirate's Life either. So there's either got inked, or I think he's about to start singing Pirate's Life to try to. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So he has to play 2 more Pirate's Lives.
Yeah. Louis, of course, just looking for that Tamatoa. I mean, that might be enough, though. Now a Sisu doesn't. Well, no, a Sisu would still. Well, no, it would need the quest. There's another one. Oh,
the
man.
crab
Louis
still
is
does
so
it, though.
close.
A crab still wins the game.
Yeah.
That's the funny part.
But in the meantime, we're completely overloaded. You know, a Be Prepared from King Louis could be very punishing here with the few cards that are left in Nassif's deck. There's no dime on board. There's no way to get this instant lore. As we're going to dig a little deeper with another Scrooge. This is our fourth Scrooge McDuck.
Scrooge.
Don't do it. Slow down. Don't keep drawing.
I mean, he does need to keep enough cards to do some things. But if he has double crab and the dimes, like, he might only need one crab at this point to win, being at 8 lore.
We've got another vision. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I think he's got 7 cards left. 7 or 6 cards
he's
left.
Still pretty solid.
He takes 1, so about 5 cards.
Wow. Look at that board. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Think,
10,
change
11.
mind.
There are 13 cards, I think, on the board, and then 17, 18 cards in the Inkwell. So almost a third of our deck is actually out there on the field right now. Or half of our deck, I should say.
Sevi says in chat, if he quested for 1 with a Tipo on turn 2, he would have won by now.
Right?
Yeah, but I'm sure Louis would have rushed a shark or something crazy. And
Vitalisphere, drawn another one. Louis thinking, am I allowed to play yet? Can we find that Tamatoa so shiny?
I do like this, like, you have to play B-Prep.
We're going to dig a little deeper.
So, okay, he still has exactly enough ink.
Yeah, if he inks and uses the quill. But I'm seeing a workshop, so that's not
I think Nassif is going to win now. Look at that. Scoops it up.
Wow.
Game 1 going to Nassif.
Could he have won that turn without a dime?
He had 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-ish, and then the shark in play. Probably might have had a dime. He
Louis
probably
may have
just
had
assumed
one
he was
more
out
turn.
there.
I mean, again, we
It's
don't know the
possible.
list for sure. If he has a dime, obviously he can just dime and then that'll finish it. But I don't know. I think if I'm Louis, I fought that hard. I would say, hey, show me that you got it. Because if not, you get one more chance to draw the crab. But nonetheless, Nassif is going to take game 1. That was very back and forth. He looked very much in control, and then the dime came out. Then Louis looked in control, and then back to Nassif.
So Nassif would have had to have inked one or like both of his dimes basically in that game. If he has dime and he only plays 1, he would have had to have inked it very early. Yeah. And before he realized it was a mirror, right? Because you're going to need that dime in the mirror.
Sure.
And Nassif got to see his entire deck.
Yeah.
And so at that point, for Louis, he's just like, yeah, I'm not winning this game. Like, he's going to win on his turn. He either grabbed the dime to win, or he grabbed like the action to chain a couple actions in a row to lure out and finish the game up. I'm assuming he also had like 6 or 7 cards in his hand. And who knows? Maybe he said go, and Nassif said, I have Pirate's Life. Good.
Yeah, game. Yeah. We don't know what we can't hear the conversation, so I'll do that at local sometimes. Before I math out a big turn, I'll be like, hey, if you have the goat, just show me, or if you have such and such, just show me, and I won't bother to try to figure a way out of this.
Since it auto added, it won't let me do another ad right now to get it out of the way. But if I see an early turn that doesn't seem too important, I'll try to get that out of the way.
Katie, if you're listening, thank you for the deck lists. I'll get to spy on them. I know we won't reveal them, of course, but
Lofi said that you need to safeguard your bird feeders.
That is true.
Ooh, inking the Maui, probably not relevant. Inking a crab is not what you want to necessarily do. It says a few things about Nassif's hand. It's either very good or very ink light.
Gone are the days, of course, of the old 19, 20, 21 uninkables that these decks used to run.
Ooh, a crab in the ink there, too. Some big cards that players do not want in their ink, and that's missing turn 2 ramp by King Louis 2 games in a row.
Wow, yeah. Yeah, that's how the last game started for him as well, too. And here we have our own ramp on this Nassif side.
Oh man, Nassif playing the best spell book that there ever was. It's inkable. It costs 1 less.
It feels pretty good.
Had the ramp. We don't care. King Louis says, I don't need to ramp. I want the cards in my hand, and I want to draw more cards.
Do you think he top decked that sale, or do you think he had it?
I don't know.
That would be very odd to me if he had the sale and unless his hand was just like so uninkable.
All
heavy.
uninks. Yeah. Like if he only has 1 more ink, then I could see not playing the sale. If he played sale, inked again, drew uninkable, loses the game.
Yeah.
Or draws inkables that are secretly uninkables. But at that point,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if I'm Nassif, I'm assuming that King's hand is like B preps and Sisu's.
Yeah, it very well could be. We do Inkabell. I get a Maurice's Workshop. Do get to draw 1 off of it.
That is if King Louis even on B preps. It could literally just be a Zan DKP 60 mirror.
That's so crazy to me if you're not running B prep. As Scrooge McDuck sings his best, "How far I'll go." I don't know how Scrooge would sing that song, but we'll get a little more ramp, a little more card draw. Another Scrooge. Both of these paid for, of course, paid for fairly with 4 ink from the 4 ink Foundation. Very happy to contribute, as we do find a Maurice's Workshop off the top.
He's like, you know what, Louis? I see your double workshop. It was pretty good for me last game. I would prefer if you don't get to do what I did, so I'm just going to keep ramping while putting these little beatdowns in. Did he pass the turn without questing?
There's no way, right? Like, what are you afraid of? A Maui going to bop him?
I think oh.
No, okay, I think he's still, right?
Thinking about inking. Is he not inked yet? I don't think he's inked yet. Okay. Foil Pirate's Life. Oh, well, T-Po's not getting in. Not getting in.
I mean, there's really no reason to leave him up, right? Is there something you're worried about?
I mean, Maui gets you.
Yeah.
Because, you don't want your... I couldn't even say it with a straight face.
I mean, you don't want
I'm
your
assuming it's a
taken
player.
out by a 5-cost character.
Yeah, Nassif saw chat and he was like, I don't want to win by T-Po chip damage.
Right? I refuse.
Live by the dime, die by the dime.
Exactly. We'll get the lore my way. Shark or nothing.
I'm going to win this game without questing once.
Well, this one does look very different from the first game. Again, we went, almost 10 turns, I think, without seeing a single character. And Louis is now very much playing the ramping, just kind of slow roll. But Nassif already has 3 characters on the field. Granted, didn't want to quest with them last time, so maybe they're not the lore threat that they normally would be.
Yeah, and this isn't that bad for Nassif being the aggressor here. Without a coil on Louis' side, the Sisu's not that relevant.
Yeah.
Hopefully this time T-Po gets in. Little boy beat down.
Little boy beat down. Yep. There's the boy duck connection and puts 3 lore on the board and saying, Louis, yeah.
Sounds like an indie movie.
I mean, right? Yeah, exactly.
The boy duck connection.
The boy duck connection. I can't believe there's no B preps in these lists potentially. Of course, I'm a Ruby with this player, and I have to have it in that list. But man, that's very.
You don't have Sisu. You don't have Sisu coil. I think that's the big difference.
There is another Fishbone Quill. We're going to get to draw off of these workshops. So we should have plenty of cards in our hand to start rocketing up our Inkwell if we really want to do that. And looks like we do, in fact, wish to do that. We could even still ink for turn. So if we do a Popsicle, we can get a draw 3 off of it.
A Popsicle to draw 4 would not be bad. We still need the coil. Oh, there's the coil.
Asking you shall receive.
Interesting, the no ink beforehand for the extra card draw.
Yeah.
We're just not even inking this turn.
Well, and here's an instance where I really wish we could see the
forgot.
hand count. So, just to kind of see where they're at. Excuse me.
Yep, I'm assuming it's just uninkables at that time. Or he forgot. It looks like he forgot he could do it. This is why I leave my ink up, face up, till end of turn.
Yeah, same with me. It kind of seems to defeat the purpose of it if you show it and then immediately ink it. Like I always leave it. That to me, that is my actual passing action. Pass to you. Now I flip it face down.
Yeah, we'll have to have someone watch the replay here to make sure that there wasn't an accidental double ink, but I'm pretty sure there wasn't.
Yeah, I think you're correct. I don't recall seeing it either. Because I think we started on 6 and we used both quills and went to 8. Makes me. There's probably no dragons in this list either, obviously, other than Sisu, but no Maleficent dragons.
Yeah, because we played Coil, or we played turn 3 Workshop, turn 4 Workshop, turn 5 Fishbone, activate Fishbone. I'm pretty sure we activated the first turn we played it. So we started this turn with 6, and we've activated both Fishbones. Now we ink for turn.
So either maybe Louis caught himself before he passed. We thought maybe he'd passed there, but still, obviously, he could have played that before bringing down the coil and getting an extra draw out of it.
If he didn't draw it off of,
yeah, that's also possible. It's very possible he just drew it off of the coil draw. So,
ooh.
Actually, medallion weights. We're just seeing all kinds of items in here.
I don't think that was in Zan's list.
7 for a hard lucky dime, which, hey, isn't, you don't mind playing when you're already ahead like this anyway. And we're going to get a third Scrooge McDuck. Dude, Nassif has just seen every Scrooge possible, which, last game he dug through his entire deck, so that makes sense. But it's still a bit earlier in this one. We actually pull out a great stone dragon. Not that we need more ink, but we're going to get it regardless. And do you even care what the item does, Luke, if essentially it just triggers the workshop anyway?
A little, but not too much. And, yeah, getting that dime into play, so now we're threatening playing giant things and gaining in chunks of lore.
Yeah, this is looking very good for Nassif. Louis has not put anything on the board other than just items and ramp, which is what Nassif did in game 1, so maybe Louis can take the reverse angle here, but I think this is a turn you can't really ignore this board anymore. I don't think you can take another turn off to just keep building up. Even if we put nothing else, that's 4 lore plus a dime, so now you're going up to 11. As we pass the 20-minute mark for time in the round, so if this does go to a game 3, we might be a little low on time for these players. Louis taking his time, making sure he plans out everything. Obviously, a Be Prepared would be very clean here. A Sisu, we would need 3 inks, which we can do with the double quill if we want to get rid of all these Scrooges. So we're actually going to start off with a Sail, the Azurite Sea. Draw a card, get an additional inking effect.
Doubles over here. You think he's going to play another coil or another sapphire coil to make the set?
I guess he could. I mean, it does make the ink a little more effective then, right? Then you don't need as many inks to trigger the Sisu and wipe out all these Scrooges.
I mean, I wouldn't say that Nassif is startling. He's playing characters. He's questing.
Oh, no, I think Nassif's doing well. I'm worried for Louis.
Oh, I was responding to chat there.
Oh, okay, sorry.
R&B was saying that Dirtle Deck Mirror. It's like, it is. The first game did take half an hour, and Nassif went down to about 4 or 5 cards left in deck. But these matchups can be pretty intense and fun. Nassif, though, he's going to be put in a spot that if King Louis puts himself where he's going to win, Nassif has to, quickly concede.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't look like it's this game is probably the last game, or they're only going to have a couple of minutes in their third game.
Yeah, Nassif has that dime advantage now, so any character he puts down essentially says gain its lore on entry. Louis must not have an option he loves because he's really thinking through this turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ink. That would be enough for Sisu. We would need to ink a few times to trigger the coil, which we have the Sail in effect. So we could do 2 natural inks. I think we've already used a quill. Oh, you just went. Did you go mute, Luke?
I did. I was like,
Okay.
oh, I don't want them to hear my typing, and then I start talking immediately.
I saw your lips move. I was like, uh-oh. Did I go deaf or did Luke go mute?
I was just saying, like, this is a scenario where you're like, I want B prep instead. But he can trigger all the coils, but he doesn't really have the Sisu ink anymore.
Well, Louis decided, you know what I need? My third ramping option. So we put out our third Fishbone Quill, which we do at least get to trigger the double workshop. Did he do that? Thinking a brawl is... Hopefully we're declaring our, duck targets. The funny thing, no, we're past the Sisu point at this juncture. We can, well, actually, 1, 2, 3. We can still ink 3 more cards this turn if we really want to. So we could be prepared. Instead, we're just going to play Grammatala. Man, Luke, what is Louis drawing that, like, I don't know. That's not exactly what I was hoping for this turn to fight back with.
Like things that don't do anything.
Yeah.
Like a pirate's life. Like it wouldn't have been workshops, right? He would have played the workshop instead of the other Fishbone and inking the brawl. I'm assuming he has to play the Sisu, but do we want to be inking this turn even more?
I mean, I don't know what all this ink's doing for you.
Because we need to use it next turn if we're Sisuing, right? We can't ink 3 more time, like that brawl and that other ink, and then, well, now we don't have the ink to hit 3 characters. Like, unless he has another coil, but it looks like he has 2 cards in hand.
Yeah. Wow, this is weird. Very strange turn. Surely he should have more than that, right? He's been using the workshops. I don't know if he triggered the workshops when he put down the third Fishbone Quill. I couldn't quite tell with the way he exerted his ink. Which is, if this game goes the way it's looking right now, which is in Nassif's favor, we'll definitely have to ask him about this in the interview. We're about to see 3 Ducks, 1 Boy quest. Also sounds like a weird album or studio movie.
That definitely sounds like an indie band for sure.
Right, yeah.
3 ducks and 1 boy.
I'm kind of surprised Nassif isn't just like stepping on the gas at this point. Surely.
I mean, he has to then commit. Like, there's still a world that there's Be Prepareds in King Louis' deck. And, small spoiler, I don't know if you've looked at the list, there is 1 Be Prepared in King Louis' deck. 1.
Only 1.
Singleton Be Prep. All right, so that could be in his hand, and we saw a lot of King Louis' deck last time. Nassif might just be like, whatever, there's no way he's on Be Prep, he's just got Sisu, let's go ham.
Oh, look who it is. Well, Tamatoa hasn't always been this glam. He was a drab little crab once, but now he's looking very shiny as that lucky dime is going to tap him for a total of 4 lore plus a 4 lore quest. We're all the way up to 16.
All right. There's only a single one. I'm going to let you do it. I love to do it, but you get to sing it because your voice is obviously 10 times better than I'm not going to follow up that like after that. Like there's no way, right?
Does he even have it though? I'll get the pipes ready, but
it's the only way he over inked. I feel is like he wants to be prep and then play his own Tamatoa.
Yeah, because you're 100% right. Like if he has the Sisu, surely he needed to save that ink for this turn so he can shrink all these cards to make the Sisu hit.
Maybe sing How Far I'll Go. Like he's not questing or singing, which. Like, now it looks like he's on Sisu. But that's... Sisu does literally nothing right now but take care of a small child.
Right. and you have... This Tamatoa alone, you have to get this off the board. If this quests and dimes, the game's over, even if you answered every other character.
If it dimes, the game's over, my guess.
Yeah.
There's 3 items. We know one's a popsicle.
Well, we're inking again, so Fishbone Quill.
1 shrink.
Tamatoa needs to be hit twice.
Yeah. I mean, you do what you got to do.
Oh man, are we trying to go for a big Sisu play? I think we might be.
I mean, maybe if he had
Again?
exactly enough ink, just a brawl.
But just getting rid of the Tamatoa too. Like if you don't hit any of these, I mean, Grandma Tala can take out the Sisu, but or the Tipo. Yeah, it's okay. It's Sisu, but 2 characters. Tala cannot take out a Scrooge by
Buys
herself.
a turn. He's got 1 card on the computer there.
Quest for 1 we're
A
on the board.
singleton card.
Man, that was it?
Oh, Crab Dime. And then that's it. Nassif taking it down. Just like a pretty clear 2-0 sweep there, showing the power level of drawing ramp and cards when your opponent misses turn 2 ramp 2 games in a row. All right, let's hop out of VDO and into Discord. And if this is super loud, chat, I apologize. Please let me know very quickly. I've been messing with Discord sounds.
Good game. Good game. Had me sweating.
Well, Louis, you definitely needed that turn 2 ramp, but I guess the question is, did you choose not to play it, or did we draw the turn 2 ramp literally a turn too late in that game there?
I drew it 1 turn too late.
Oh, it's so brutal.
It was my top deck. It doesn't matter. I just one popsicle both games. Just don't draw it. That's the key. That's the key part. Drawing a popsicle, or at least something that I can just play cheaply and get it back with Tamatoa. And then, yeah, it was just unlucky draw for me both games. Like my opening hand was the first game was like Maui Brawl, Sisu, and I was like, okay, best card in the mirror.
Well, yeah, we were wondering about that last turn because I mean, I think you ultimately ended up playing 2 characters, which was the Tala and the Sisu. Like, what was in your hand? Was it just a bunch of uninkable cards, just unusable items, or?
I had a dime and a Tamatoa, and I tried to put Tamatoa out if you can't clear it to kill next turn, but it was just not possible because I just had like 5 or 6 items plus Tamatoas. I would go to like 17, 18. So it was not worth it. And yeah, then I tried with a fishbone to draw into like more items, like a popsicle, to get like 2 more, and then I could still play like at the dime or whatever. Yeah, I was just not drawing it. I was just drawing it to these uninkable Sisus, and then I mean I had 2 workshops out and I ran out of cards. Like, how is this possible?
Right.
Impossible.
Yeah, Nassif, you, on the other hand, drew thousands of cards. Cheers.
I did. It was great. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, you kind of had everything. You had turn 2 ramp, you had workshops, you did almost everything you could do. You're just playing a pretty much Zan's list, or was there a few? We did see medallions.
No, very far from it. He's very much all in on the item strategy. The list I'm playing, the basis for it, shout out my boy Josh, the barber, he gave me the basis for it, and I kind of tweaked it to adjust to my playstyle. I played it on Sunday. I got second in a set champs to my boy Freddy here, and it worked well. But I lost this matchup to the mirror, to the more item intensive version. So I learned a few things. I made a few changes in the list based on what happened there. And I learned that like the win con really is ramp into OTK with Tamatoa. So that's what I played for, and it did its job. I think my Scrooges and Tipo, Blue Donald. In South Florida we call him Blue Donald. I think those guys went for like 12 lore last game or something crazy.
So how many characters?
Like the Tamatoas were kind of.
How many characters have you taken out with Medallion on Tipo? Because that seems
Medallion
like a sick
Tipo
turn 3.
Phenomenal. It's phenomenal, and it draws you a card, so you don't feel like you're losing that tempo that you would like not playing a Scrooge or a Talo on that turn. But the reason I actually kept it in the deck wasn't because of the draw, wasn't because of the challenging character part. I actually did not have a good way to deal with locations. and this is an item that stays in play that buffs any of my characters that can help me punch into locations, and that really came up quite a bit, helping. I actually had a game the other day against Ruby Amethyst where they had a library out. I think I was playing Bell in the old list, so I had hit it with a Bell, and my Tipo went in with a Vitalisphere plus a Medallion Weights to clear a library like 2 turns after it came down, swung the matchup in my favor. So
love it.
I love Vitalisphere, but I hate that it has to banish itself for the effect. So having that consistent, my guys are hitting for 2 more, and they might draw a card is really nice.
Oh, I like it.
Makes a lot of sense. Tell us, in that first game, it looked like your deck was getting awful low there. How many cards?
Oh, I think there was like 8 to 10 cards, if not
no,
less.
that's more than it looked like. Yeah, we couldn't tell quite how many it was. So.
Yeah, I thought for sure you were down to like 5.
I draw absurd amounts. It's not okay. Hiram was not the problem, but we don't have to talk about that right now.
I will disagree with that. I think it is much better without Flabbersham. I think it's in a fair spot.
Yeah. Hiram was part of the problem, not the whole problem.
He was enough of the problem that, like, the deck survives when he leaves. But yes.
True. Valid.
But you showed no. I actually made a comment during the match. I said no Hiram, no problem. Like the workshop, the amount of cards, and I noticed too. Tell me about this decision. You know, technically, if you want to, you can put down the popsicle for 1, pay 1 ink, draw 1 card, pay 1 ink, draw 1 card for each workshop. And you just said no. I'm drawing the full amount. You immediately just put it down for 4 ink, 5 ink. Why make that decision versus like looking at it one at a time?
So I'm sure Ruby Amethyst players will kind of identify with this kind of mindset, but there's 2 kind of phases of playing the deck. The first is draw a bunch of cards. The second is remove their stuff. So if I'm having a turn where I'm like, okay, they could have the nuttiest turn, next turn, if I don't do anything to their board and I still don't lose, I think I feel safe just drawing a whole bunch of cards, refilling my hand, getting into... the biggest difference from my list and Zan's is I'm running B Prep, I'm running Maui Shark, and I'm running Pirate's Life. I have those tools to really combat the early aggression, to combat the threat of, like, the game's always gonna end late. It's never like you're never gonna turn 4.
You
get me,
did such a good job of hiding those be prepareds in your first game that I don't think we saw you ink them at all. And
I don't know if either game I showed them.
He has 3. I just double checked. He was playing 3. That's why he was like, no, my list is so much different than Zan's. He only showed us the cards rather than Medallion that both him and Zan played. So Chat and I both got a little confused there.
So funny story, I actually resubmitted my list around 4 o'clock. I was on 3 Fishbone Quills, and I was like, listen, I only need this card in the mirror to kind of outpace them into that Tamatoa Dime turn. So I cut down on Fishbones and just went for more consistency. But both games I did see that one of Fishbone, and I was able to hide. I hid when I was putting away my Sisus in the ink. I hid my B preps. I never want you to know that I'm losing removal to ramp. So I'm always gonna hide those over one of, like, I'll show you I'm losing a shark. You don't know if I'm playing 2 or 4. So
yeah. Well, you definitely fooled us, so well done. Mission accomplished.
Appreciate it.
Well, Rose, do you have any more questions before we let them do some shout-outs?
No, thank you for the entertaining game. I was a little worried about you guys going to time at the start because, you know, these Ruby Sapphire mirrors can be grindy, but you made it clean and efficient. And shout out to Louis for the Shield of Virtue in your list. I really like that card, and it almost came up clutch with the Sisu, but just not enough.
Well, Nassif, let's start with you. What shout-outs would you like to give?
Shout out to my team first and foremost, the Illuminati. We're everywhere and nowhere. You don't know about us, but you know all about us. We are grinding harder and more often than anybody else that I know of. We really are, like, decks that people are catching on to now, we've been messing around with for 2 months. I'm not trying to, like, gas this up too much, but we really, like, I can't give enough credit to my team. Nothing in this game surprises me because one of my teammates has already done it to me. So shout out to all of them. They know who they are. I love all you guys. And shout out to the South Florida scene. I said it last time I was on here. We have the most competitive locals in the world.
Well, before we give it over to Louis for his shout outs, I just want to say I want you to put a link to your DJ set or some music. I want that in the chat.
I got you.
All right. Louis, what shout outs you got?
Yeah, thanks Wonderland, for having me here. Thank you for the launchers to get this chance to participate in the Illumineers League. And yeah, I think this was a perfect example that even if you have like a 90% favorite matchup, you can still lose it. And yeah, that's what happened. So sometimes it's just bad beats, but that's fine. That's why we play a game. And yeah, he played very well. So props and thank you very much.
You as well.
All right. Well, thank you both. Have a fantastic rest of your night. Rude, why don't you swap over to video and then say your goodbyes? All right, we're going to swap over. I'll let you introduce whichever one you want, and I will introduce the other. Do you even know who we're doing into? The two people surrounding you in the room. I do believe it's they can raise their hand for you. That's one of them. Either of them. And he is here, and he's here with Skinner. And let's swap over right now because he's trying to say things.
Oh, I thought I was already in. Okay, I like the introduction. Okay. And we're in the building. We got Skinner and JDZ. Again, it's so happy to be here with you again, Skinner. We shared so much time in the last SSG event, and we're back at it again. How you feeling? How you living? How has your week been?
Oh, my week's been wonderful, man. I think it's been a really big week for Lorcana in general. I know it's been a big week for you as well. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Big news this week, if you guys haven't heard, and very, very worthy choice for Ravensburger to bring you on board for Worlds. So congratulations on that. And it was a surprise to see you on the live stream as well.
Hey, man.
Very well kept secret.
Hey, listen, I had to work hard. Listen, I'm a chatty Cathy. I like to spill the beans often, and I had to keep that secret from a lot of people because I want to have that shock factor. I want to have a little bit of surprise, and I'm glad people received it well, man.
Yeah,
there was no rehearsal, there was no plan. We just kind of went in there and sent it, and it was a vibe. I enjoyed
the JDZ way. You just go in there and you send it. Send it.
That's it.
Lock in.
And I enjoyed all of the news that was shared, all the updates. I think it just kind of refreshed my love for this game. I know a lot of people are kind of echoing that kind of sentiment, man. But how are you feeling? You ate the red egg. What was your favorite? Are you recovered?
We're good. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, I have an hour drive home from SSG, and I had the taste of vinegar in my mouth the whole way home. But we're good now. I've brushed my teeth a lot, scrubbed my tongue a lot, and stomach feeling better. I think we're okay now.
Nice. Okay, so we're getting everything set up. I think the players are getting ready. But while we're doing that, man, what is some of your favorite news that you had spoiled, or not spoiled, but that came in from this last round of news that we had? What was your favorite thing that you're most looking forward to?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, rotation's a big one, right? I'm really excited to see what that looks like and how it's supported in the future. But I mean, I can't get away from Powerline, man. Goofy movie.
Let's go.
Absolute favorite, one of my favorite movies of all time. And I knew it was coming eventually. Everybody's been, asking for it. And it was funny because the first time they showed it was like on the advertising of the booster pack. And it was like, wait, is that what I think it is? Wait a second. And then they showed the full amazing art that they show, which I'm hoping will be an enchanted eye to eye.
It better.
Yeah, that was my hypest moment for sure. A lot of cool stuff. Gargoyles is great too and stuff, but man, Goofy movie that tickles me in a different way for sure.
Let's get it. I agree with that. But Skinner, it's time. We got the good homie Gabe is in the building, in the dojo, locked in, laser focus versus Franz Borden. I think Gabe does have an uphill battle to climb. But like I said, I know he's been putting in the work, training, trying to put on a good show for the world tonight. So how do you think this is going to go? I think I know what Gabe is playing. I don't even have to look at the deck list. But what inside information can you give us about Gabe and his preparation to this event?
Yeah, Gabe. It's funny because both these players actually have had some time on the Emerald Amethyst side, but neither are playing Emerald Amethyst today. I won't get into spoilers, but it seems like both these players are kind of headed in a new direction, if you will. So I've never seen Gabe play these colors before, and I'm really interested to see how he navigates this match. Gabe is one of my Emerald Amethyst brothers, so usually we're on that deck. So seeing him play a little something different, I hope he can impress me because I'm locked in and ready for Gabe to do something big here.
And hopefully he doesn't have some kickback. I hope he doesn't regret. I mean, because I have a saying, you got to ride the horse that got you there in these tight moments when the back's against the wall and the pressure is mounting. Go to trust what you know, and you're going to lean outside of that and go to something different in this high pressure situation. As we got the big Iago's getting in, followed up by the Diablo on one. Let's go. So
already getting a little sneak peek of what's in store for Franz. And so we got some matching inks here. Both players starting off pretty similar here. A little move the pawn, I move the pawn, a little match your chess move here.
I like that. A little both evasive characters in Inkwell as well, followed by turn one Diablo matching energy. Let's see if Franz is going to come out on 2. What is going to be the second color? No spoilers.
Nothing yet. Both players still trying to figure it out. What's going to be the follow-up play? This might be a little more revealing in the information, but it's going to be interesting to see what he puts down here. He's deciding on a couple of different options, I'm assuming.
And I think this second ink, if it is the strategy that I think I know it is, I just looked at the deck list, and this inking, this turn 2 play is always quite pivotal. Sometimes and I'm sure the colors are going to reveal themselves here quite soon, so I don't want to spoil it too much. And I just noticed that there is a face cam that's kind of being obscured. Oh, you can see it at the top left on your screen. I just noticed that it kind of startled me there. I was like, what is that doing? Oh man,
Fran's rocking the tie-dye. I like it. Very nice.
I like it. I think that should be more mandatory. We need to figure out how to get that OBS camera going, as we are thinking long and hard here on this second ink play. Gotta make it happen.
We're in the tank here, huh?
On turn 2.
Make a really big decision here. Could be that he's high on inkables. Could be that he's having to maybe ink something he's not comfortable inking, but he does find a choice here as he quests in for 1 and plays a snake, which will buy him back an ink if he needs it for the next turn, and also provide a nice juicy 3/3 body on the board for any kind of combat that may arise here.
And still obscuring that second color as both players are revealing Amethyst Pure, as Gabe breaks parity and reveals he is a Ruby Amethyst, trading in the Emerald for Ruby. What do you think about that?
Very big surprise here. Like I said, Gabe, not somebody I've seen on the Ruby Amethyst. Obviously a deck that I think I agree is a strong choice for sure. But yeah, I'm excited to see how this navigates into what Franz's purple mystery deck is. So yeah, we'll find out in a minute just how good this Queen of Hearts can be.
So he showed his hand and revealed that he is on Ruby Amethyst. I think that is another interesting concoction with this strategy, with all the cards that we have up until this point in set 7. This Ruby Amethyst deck could be so many different ways. I really am enjoying that evasive version, but the standard version with just the rabbits and the bounce, very consistent strategy. I would be interested to see what text he has. Is he back on Tremaine's, Medusas, as this thing goes into the late game, as it could still be the mirror. We have the quested Diablo the Diablo is going to be challenged by the snake for a little bit of draw, and then we reveal the Pete on 3. So Amethyst Steel is going to be the matchup.
Okay, yeah. So Franz is pretty much shutting down any potential shenanigans coming from Gabe when it comes to actions. But Gabe coming in on 3 here, and it's going to be interesting to see if we try to get a quest in here. Probably not, considering that these 2 3/3s will be checking the queen pretty much instantly. So right now, ball's kind of in Franz's court, as he has 2 3/3 bodies. Although this Queen of Hearts can withstand one of those attacks and potentially trade with the second one, still kind of not the greatest stat line at the moment. So
for sure,
gonna have to see what else Gabe can get on the board here.
And you need to hope for that pat. You had to. No, you have to hope for that patent pending crab to come in on this queen right now. I
Yep.
think that would be a devastating turn. There it is,
There
right
it
on
is.
time. The crested
Yep.
crab comes down, and now
Bingo.
you get a full value queen, and that would be able to ward off this potential fox. Because, like you said, exerting this queen in the face of a potential fox, you hate to see it because this thing is really doing nothing. But
Right.
when it's wearing that crab as it does so well, typically it turns into a +2 type situation. So
For sure.
huge
And now
tempo
this
loss.
queen's a +3, right? So she's going to be essentially a 4-1. So if this Pete does decide to come in and give her a little hug, it's going to be a trade both ways, right? So this queen really showing her value here in combination with that crab. That's pretty much what she's designed to do. So this was this was pretty much textbook, right? You want to trade into a character and then stick around to be big enough to trade with maybe a second character and get that potential 2-for-1.
100%. Or if you can get really loose, I know people aren't. There's no chance you're playing bail, but if you can hit a turn 5 bail, if that queen can stick around for a little while, and you can bail off for 3 and do it again. I think that's a vibe. But you are not going to be long for this world. As Strength of the Raging Fire coming in on 3, blasting the crab as it often does. As Pete is now exerted. Do you take this trade though to get the Pete now, or do you just wait it out?
Yeah, taking crab off the board does a lot of things, right? Like a 3 cost potentially could be singing friends on the other side. I know when I play my Amethyst decks, I love having a nice, no matter what it is, a nice 3-drop that can sing my friends on turn 3 is very important. So Fran's recognizing that and just taking it off the board, making it really awkward for Gabe here, and potentially, really throwing a wrench in his plan. And but Gabe has a little way to draw cards with Rabbit. Card may be familiar to some of you out there, and can potentially start really racking up some cards if Franz is not able to deal with it. But it's going to be interesting to see if we decide to trade in this queen for a Pete. And Gabe kind of grinding his gears here, thinking, is that worth it? Do I really care about this Pete, or am I just questing? Okay, so he just does decide to get in there and take that trade.
And I think that's a worthy trade to take, because this deck can start to bounce and redeploy that Pete, and it can get kind of awkward towards the later phases of the game. I think just take the trade and get done with it before another Fire to Cannons or Storm Rage on or something like that comes down and clears this Pete. As this Rabbit is on the board, this might be the last hurrah for Rabbit as we're going into this potential rotation season. I'm going to miss the Merlin. Hopefully they give us a little bit more Merlin.
Oh, we still got Infinity, right? I'm actually interested to see, not only what the new format brings, but how crazy the old format is, right? Like when we have all these new cards. So it's going to be fun, man. I think it's going to be a good time, and I think people are going to be very surprised with how fun it can be.
Okay, I concur. And the big bird has landed side by side with a Smee, just an up-tempo Iago, huge stats. Maybe Gabe is playing a little bit of teeth and ambition, and we can get that bird off relatively
I don't know. I think that this is a real big problem for Gabe here, right? Like most of the removal that comes from Ruby would be something like Brawl or Be Prepared, so you can't Medusa this thing, you can't Brawl it. It's just annoying. And I found that in this red-purple matchup, Iago is quite strong at just presenting a giant body that pretty much trades into the majority of their deck. So I think this Iago is going to stick around a lot longer than we would imagine.
For sure. Quite cleanly, too. Unless we can get some, I would like to see those quote-unquote weird cards start coming back into this Ruby Amethyst deck. I think players can start trying them, those Be King Undisputed type cards, the Teeth and Ambition type cards. Start working those back in just to be strange. I think sometimes might be some values. Rabbit singing, friends on the other side. If we can bounce this Rabbit, you're going to be on your way, as Gabe's got the jillion cards in hand.
Oh yeah, and see, that's the friends we were talking about. Potentially could have been saying with that crab, but because Fran's getting the heads up on that, had to wait an extra turn, which we did eventually get to cash in on these cards. But just being able to slow Gabe off his game plan, definitely a great strategy here. But Gabe's gonna have to figure out what he can threaten that's not going to get crushed by this giant parrot. And I'm not sure what it could be, but we're just going to keep drawing cards until we find it.
Just keep trying. That does represent your bounce. So you're probably going to lose that exerted Rabbit this next turn, unless I can't quite see all the ink. Looking at the screen, it seems like you have 4 in the ink well. So you're not going to have enough to reduce this Rabbit.
Yep. That's the 5th ink right there. And passing it back. So 2 rabbits in play. One most likely not long for this world. But we do have another one that could potentially either be balanced or trade into Smee on the following turn. So we'll see how Gabe decides to handle it. But right now, ball's in Franz's court as he takes a look. And going into turn 5 here, we have options like Elsa that could potentially be a problem. That could, you know, sit down this rabbit and potentially offer a double trade if he chooses to do that. Also, just you know, any kind of maybe tech cards he could be playing. I know a lot of these decks are playing cards that are a little obscure in these purple steel decks. Maybe a 5-drop surprise card, but we'll see. We'll see what he's got. And yeah, we'll throw the room down here and thinking about. Okay, so we're just gonna go wide here.
And I do feel every time you see a rabbit, you got to take it down whenever you have the opportunity. So that Spectral Parrot will do so. You will get a card to replace it as the board has expanded. Going into your 6 ink turn, you're still quite a few away from Be Prepared as you're just trying to get into the lore total. You're sitting at 6 now after that SME quest. So is that good enough? Will that be able to suffice? Is this board strong enough? Do you have Pete as your one of your last 2 cards in hand to kind of stave off that Be Prepared? As Gabe is in a very comfortable spot. If you do have Be Prepared and no Pete, I think it might be hard to come back from this situation if you're Gabe. So let's see what Gabe can do.
For sure. Yeah, Franz is in a great position here. I mean, he's got a lot of threats in play, and if you're just tuning into the game right now, it may look like Franz is in big time control here. However, Franz has got 1 card left in hand. Potentially could be a dock, which, you know, it's always a dock. It feels like the last card's always dock, but we don't know for sure. You know, we don't know yet what it could be. But in the meantime, although Gabe doesn't have a strong board presence, he's just racking up the cards in his hand, right? We know he's eventually going to get to this B prep or this big board clear turn. And if Gabe can just survive till then, it's going to be interesting to see if Franz can come back from a, you know, potential board clear here. But right now, Gabe's going to do his best to just clean things up, trade that Fox in, and take that SME out, preventing 2 further lore. And yeah, I mean, so the clock is ticking. So the further we get into this game, the more I think it favors Gabe. So I think Franz just trying to shut the door as soon as possible.
Absolutely. I think that's just obviously a really good sign, a good indicator that if you do have a Be Prepared or something this next turn, but maybe not, because you're coming in with a little bit of board flood, indicating that maybe you just don't have the big red button as of yet, or maybe you're just trying to feint the fact that you do, and you're just trying to obscure that information from your opponent. So I don't know what I would read here if I am Franz, but we're going to get a quick sing in, and if you can pop this broom, maybe that can represent another card, and just try to get the most value out of your characters before they get depleted.
Has to sit and wait until he can find himself either an evasive or a board wipe to get this bird off the table. But in the meantime, Iago's just going to keep on trucking. So.
And just like that, Franz goes from 1 card in hand. I think he's holding on to 4 now, I want to say, or at least 3. So that is a nice value turn to kind of help replenish your resources before a potential Be Prepared comes in. The rabbit is also representing another draw. Do you quest up this Calhoun here and potentially run headlong into another crab, or do you just pass back on over?
It's hard to say, right? I mean, he is looking to get some lore. I don't know whether or not he's going to want to try to play the game of you don't have the Be Prep. I mean, I think at this point you may have to just take whatever lore you can get while you have a chance, because although Gabe is playing cards to the board, he has a ton of cards in hand. You have to imagine he's getting closer, if not already, to that Be Prepared. So I think we just clock into lore now and ask questions later.
Oh, but he didn't do it, electing to leave that Calhoun ready, and Quinn Hart gets a quest in, so it's definitely going to be a Be Prepared type situation coming in, as it will. I don't even think that nets a plus value, as you will lose to Be Prepared, you lose the Queen, you'll get the Spectral Bird, you'll get the Calhoun, and Rabbit will replace itself. So we got a little 2 for 2 Be Prepared coming in, and card advantage. I believe that Franz is now holding on to 3. So I think it was still a pretty decent Be Prepared. I think you had to play it, but I don't know if it was the most high value Be Prepared that you could have asked for.
For sure. Yeah, definitely. I got to agree with that. And I apologize. Trying to get for some reason, the game disappeared for me. So I'm just trying to get that back up and running. So I'm working on it right now.
Tell your console to lock in, dude.
I can see everybody else, but for some reason, the game just spun us. So I'll be with us just in a second. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. You're good, man. I'll explain it. And you just give me some of that feedback. Oh, man, he's got Medusa. Oh, no, he's got.
No, I'm missing all the good stuff.
No, I'm joking.
Oh, my God, Exodia.
Oh, no, I can't believe it. Look at this. I can't believe it. as
Let me
we
see
just
if I
go,
can lock in here.
another rabbit is down. So Gabe is going to follow up the be prepared with a rabbit after Franz go ahead and deploys 2 1-cost characters. Now it's back on Franz to keep it happening as Broom and Chernobog are staring down the powerful Merlin rabbit. What are you going to do next there, Franz, as you're shuffling up and dealing, trying to figure out, oh, is it Gabe's turn? I'm trying to see. This is difficult without the glowing green boxes that Pixelborn provides. It's hard. It's Gabe's turn as we're going to blast another rabbit. We got all the rabbits. Look at this. 1 in the discard pile, 2 on the field of play, as we'll kick it back on over to Franz, who needs to start making something happen. If these rabbits can continue to bounce, the advantage generation is just going to be overwhelming. And just in sheer card economy, you're going to lose this game as you're not able to aggressively assault your adversary. You're standing at 8. Is that enough to start trying to pull away this thing as Genie is going to hit the board?
Yep. Sorry, I'm back in the game. We are locked in. Sorry, it was weird. But we're back in. I see Genie joining the board. Some more evasives here for friends. And it's kind of been a big discussion whether Genie versus Rabbit, like what is the 4-drop uninkable of choice? And we're getting to see both here. So Genie's going to present a very interesting issue because he will be questing for 2, but he can be brawled, so maybe not the scariest threat in the world. Gabe's still drawing cards, still jamming these rabbits and going through his deck faster than Franz can. And it's going to be interesting whether or not Gabe can just, out attrition him here, right? Just kind of grind them into oblivion and just keep on drawing these cards until eventually Franz just cannot keep up with the amount of things that Gabe can do. But Franz is trying to make it difficult, clocking up as far as he can here and continuing to get that lore on the board.
What is your 4-drop uninkable of choice in these Amethyst strategies? Are you a Genie man or are you a rabbit? If you got to pick one,
I've been on both sides of the fence. I do have a soft spot for a good evasive character. So, I do. Genie is also one of my favorite Disney characters. So, I have a soft spot for Genie, but I'm a long time rabbit enjoyer. So, I think it just depends on the deck, right? If you're more on the bounce package, I'm going rabbit, but if you're going more the evasive package, I think we're locking in Genie.
There you go. I think that Gabe disagrees with you wholeheartedly as he's 4 rabbits in, as 1 has already been in the discard pile and 3 are on the board. Look at that. We got triple rabbit shadow clone jutsu is going to be up, and he was questing these rabbits here in the face of this Genie. You don't even mind because rabbit can tank a Genie shot, and it just you're rather him challenged in quest in any case. So
for sure,
is looking so good for Gabe.
The more rabbits, a lot of these when red purple mirror matches were a big thing. A lot of these amethyst mirror matches came down to who draws more cards, who sees more rabbits, right? So Gabe definitely seeing all the rabbits here, and it's going to be interesting to see. Ooh, okay, we got ourselves a little Zeus action from the skies, and that's going to take out some stuff, and we're going to lock us in it with a Pete as well, and a Smee. Okay, so Franz does have a decent amount of cards in hand. Looks like he's still riffling a couple there, so not quite as out of cards as I thought he was. So he's still trucking along here and adding lots of lore to the board. Potential 5 lore quests next turn.
And that is, but also I believe Gabe is playing the full bounce package, it seems. So we can start getting some quests, getting some bounce, getting to some top end. I can look at the deck list right quick and see if he had what top end he's representing in this deck. I think there has to be some number of Lady Tremaines or some number of Medusas or something like that. I think once you start finding those cards, you can begin to start to tear this game open as the Merlin Goat is going to find his way to the field. We haven't seen any of those effects take place just yet.
For sure,
see if those start to come in.
Ooh,
double duty goat.
Gabe is just loading up all the Merlins onto the table here. We have a whole petting zoo in play. But it's gonna be interesting to see if Gabe could find himself maybe a Medusa or something to remove that Genie, since that's really the only threat right now that's not able to be answered. But just jamming all these rabbits and goats in play is gonna be pressure that Franz is gonna have to address. I know Franz right now has been pretty much the aggressor, trying to be the one who's questing more, but it's getting to the point where we have to start answering Gabe's board, and that's the position that Gabe wants to be in.
Oh, without a doubt. I think you got to start peeling these rabbits off before they start getting bounced, I would say.
They multiply, man. These rabbits.
Granted, it will give your adversary some more cards back, and you definitely don't want to do it because that will start freeing up some Tremaine type effects and those things to come in. So it's a very, very tough spot for Franz. I don't envy this position at all. You're staring down all these Merlins, they all have these replaceable effects. So even if you clear them, something is going to happen that's negative. I don't know about this, man. This is looking pretty rough.
Yeah, it's tough for sure, right? And it never feels good to attack into a rabbit, right? Because you know your opponent's instantly going to get that card back. But the problem is if you don't attack into it, it's just going to make it worse. You know, it's something that you have to address. And one card will turn into 3-4 cards if you leave it in play. So Franz, you can see he's really grinding here, trying to think of what he can do with the remaining cards in his hand. But it's going to be hard to deal with all of this at once. We don't have any form of board clear. And even if somehow we did board clear, you know, we're drawing 3 cards and we're gaining 2 lore. So that's, you know, that's a good spot to be in if you're Gabe. But he does manage to remove one of the goats here, which was a great start.
Just sending the Zeus. So that's back-to-back Zeuses. You do gain a lore for that. The genie has not quested yet. Keep that in mind. You are behind the lore race, so you can't even reach out and start to sprint to the finish line. And this position might be a first-class ticket to Scoop City coming here soon as you're shuffling your 2 cards. Gabe representing 3 cards on the board, 4 in hand. This position seems quite secure.
I absolutely agree. Yeah, Genie. I mean, you're losing 2 lore on this turn, right? Because you have to sing with the Genie, right? You're losing your Zeus, which is prime, really good premium removal, and your opponent gained a lore after all that. So it doesn't feel super good. But Fran's doing his best here to see what he can clean up, and a Fox will help. Fox will get some of this nonsense off the board, maybe take care of one of these rabbits here in a moment, but it's still going to be an uphill battle for him.
Did he? I looked away for a brief moment. Did he quest that Smee and then do the Fox?
Yeah, he quested in, then he Fox bounced it back and then replayed it.
Gotcha. I think it was a time to challenge those rabbits, man, and just clear those bad boys off of the board right now. But you do walk headlong into a be prepared. You're still in very be prepared type terrain. It would be a significantly stronger be prepared than the one that you got hit by earlier, as you have so many cards that replace themselves on the board as Brawl comes on in for the Genie.
Oh yeah, that's what we needed, right? We needed something to deal with this evasive. Everything else can be attacked into. We just needed a way to stop those pesky evasives from flying over us, right? So Genie will hit the bin, which means we also lose a 4-cost Singer. So if any other Zeuses were on the horizon, that'll have to be a full cost on that one. But we join the Fox party here with another Fox, and that'll do some cardboard combat there and send Pete into the discard pile. And Gabe's still with 2 rabbits in play. I mean, he still could quest out here, and he's got 3 ink available. So Gabe's still in a dominant position, but Fran's fighting back.
I would have loved to see that Pete get re-added back to the hand, so he could probably stop a potential. Be prepared from coming on in this turn, that next turn. I'm not saying that they would play it or not, but you just continue to deploy another goat. That is a back-breaking goat, bringing you up to 16 in lore total. 17 in the lore total as those 2 Merlin rabbits will quest. And Gabe's saying, hey, if you're not going to clear these rabbits, I will just exert these bad boys until the game comes to a screeching halt. As I think Franz did have the opportunity to clear those bad boys a little bit earlier and elected not to. So getting a little bit punished there in the interim.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, you don't expect your opponent to, always play 4 rabbits, obviously. But you do get punished sometimes for not making decisions that could have potentially been avoided earlier, right? It kind of snowballs out of control, and this is one of those situations. And you see Fran's entering the scoop phase here as Gabe will take game 1, and it's looking pretty good for Illuminati so far.
Yeah, Gabe came out. He leaned on those rabbits, leaned on those goats. The whole, like you said, the whole zoo, the whole farm was out there ready to play as the Amethyst really carried the water in that matchup. But we're going to the all-important match number 2, Amethyst Steel versus Amethyst Ruby. What do you think? Yeah. What do you think Franz needs to do? I know Gabe just wants to do exactly what he just did.
Sure. Yeah, Franz is he's on the play, right? So he gets to go first here, which that always feels great. He is on a more of an aggressive strategy here, so I'm sure he wants to hopefully curve out correctly, hit all his evasives. Clearly, Gabe had some issues dealing with evasives that game, so that's something that Franz knows now, that Gabe is not on the evasive package, so potentially exposing that would be a great strategy. However, as we talked about earlier, he really needs to try to stay in the game card-wise with Gabe, and that's going to be really hard to do when Gabe is bouncing rabbits. So
absolutely.
I'm guessing Fran's just trying to close the game out as soon as possible before all the red-purple late game shenanigans start to happen.
Absolutely. And like I said, I don't have a lot of theories or anything, but things that I've heard, if you see a rabbit, you got to take it down. I don't care how many cards they got in hand. Is because once they start bouncing it, if they can bounce it 2, 3, 4 times, play another rabbit, just get it bouncing, seeing friends bounce it, it's just so oppressive with the amount of advantage that this deck can generate. So I think he has some opportunity to clear that rabbit. You got to take him out. At least I could be wrong, but that's just how I feel. And I gotta say how I feel, man. It's just
I agree. No, yeah, you gotta always
always
speak what you feel, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Always.
Thank you.
But I feel the same way. Yeah, I feel the same way. I think like I said, it took some convincing to myself when I first started playing red purple. Like, I definitely don't want to attack that rabbit. Like, I don't want him drawing cards, but at the same time, like I said, if you don't deal with it now, you're gonna deal with it later. So yeah, definitely agree with that sentiment. So we're shuffling up here. I'm sure, like I said, Fran's looking for a good curve here. And Gabe looking for a way just to stay alive, right? Probably looking for brawls for those genies, potentially looking for Medusas or Tremaines. We still haven't seen any of those if he is potentially running those, but that could be a good way to deal with these genies and these Smees and things like that. So yeah, there's a lot of cards in both players' decks that can help them out significantly. It's just a matter of who was going to see what.
And honestly, in that game, I don't think we saw like any of the giant cobras. I don't think we saw any locations really coming in for Franz. We saw a lot of the one cost characters, so it'll be interesting if they have like that ability to reach out. We didn't see any goats coming in from Franz's perspective either. So maybe you're just playing this super fair mid-range amber or amethyst steel deck, and you just don't have those super aggressive reachy type cards to close the game out. So let's see if you can make this happen. I think you might be at a little bit of a disadvantage because you can't go fast enough, I don't think.
Right. No, yeah, 100% right. And both players starting off very similarly here with their Chernobog's followers. And Franz is going to take the opportunity here to just cash in and get that extra card. As we saw, this is going to be a matchup very, very dependent on drawing cards. And yeah, no one does it better than red purple, unfortunately. But let's see if Franz can get ahead on the cards here before it's too late.
For sure. I would like to see some type of character that can come on in. I would definitely not like to see a double Diablo here. I would like to see something that can get loose and get active on this Chernobog challenge, as you will show another Chernobog to check down your opposition. Low tempo. Didn't get a chance to use all your ink there, but you got to do what you got to do. It might tell a story about the contents of that hand. Maybe high cost cards, uninkable.
Yeah, just a little slow on this hand, right? We definitely want to see a Smee or something that could start checking in those lore. But Chernobog's follower, although not the worst thing ever, he will, get to get another card out of it. But just a slow start, which is something that's definitely going to be to Gabe's advantage here, as Gabe loads up 2 brooms and has now a ton of ways to draw, as if we needed any more ways to draw with this deck. So we have a bog and 2 brooms that could potentially be 3 more cards. So yeah, Gabe just setting up, trying to stay alive, drawing his cards, and Franz needs to get ahead of him real quick.
Interesting. Gabe electing not to pop the Chernobog, playing the Challenge My Chernobog game, which I like to play sometimes. And notice Gabe also does a full super up tempo double broom on 2. And now it just seems like Gabe is going first almost because he has more characters on the board. But Madam M Fox is going to be the immediate punish, coming in and clearing this broom. Clearing his Chernobog followers and getting your own card back to the hand. So I think that might be the punishment there, not cashing.
Yeah, I definitely think it is a punish there. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he just didn't think about it, but maybe he was hoping that it would put Franz in a position to either trade in his Chernobog or ignore it. But clearly, Fox, huge punish here, as he gets to keep this character in play and takes a potential card draw off the table for Gabe. So yeah, a little bit of a slip up from Gabe there, and he's going to have to lock in. More of these slip ups could send the game over to Franz. So let's see how we continue here. But he's going to get his trades back, his lick in, get his lick back in with the crab here. And we're back to a pretty much empty board. And the crab is the only one left. So
for sure. So you are still up on the board. You did cash in one of your brooms, but you did get, so that was technically a plus value generated by that Madam Mim Fox, as you still have quite a few cards in hand. You were on the play. This is looking still a good game. We got a long way to go, as Merlin Crab is just standing strong. I would like to see a nice up tempo genie here. If you're talking genie, this would be a great turn to establish a genie onto the board and start maybe questing aggressively with it.
I agree with you wholeheartedly here. I think we need something very, very big here, potentially Iago or a genie or something that's going to be problematic for Gabe here. Iago is a little slow when it comes to questing, but it will provide him a threat that Gabe is going to have a hard time dealing with, and could potentially bash into Gabe's board for a while. But obviously, Genie would be great here, drawing him a card and offering him 2 lore questing next turn. And looks like, ooh, a rabbit of his own. Okay. So
Wow.
Surprise, Fran's playing a little bit of both. So he, best of both worlds. So why not? As he joins a little bunny hop into the field here.
Absolutely. He got a lot of rabbits in. You saw the other side of that last game as Gabe had a ton of rabbits. Maybe Gabe's got another rabbit here coming in on 4 to help combat the opposition rabbit. And he does, as both players will reveal rabbit. Now, questing crab here, you'll do it. Gain 1, pass it back on over.
For sure. Yeah, this is a great spot here. I mean, rabbit obviously probably not going to be trading into this crab here. So pretty much a free quest there for Gabe. And still getting to keep that 3-drop body in play, which could potentially sing songs. And we have this Merlin also. So both players still battling over the board position here. My only concern is that I think Red Purple is just designed to do this for longer, right? Like we could sit here all day and trade the board, but we're just going to see more cards if we're Red Purple. But France is going to go ahead and shoot a little Hadouken over to take out that other rabbit, saying I'm the only rabbit that can stay. So now Fran's in an advantage of having, and he's going to bounce it as well.
Look at that, man. So this is a much, much, much better start for Franz this time around. As you clear the pesky rabbit, you got a nice, strong, stable board. Gabe is not threatening any character you have in play right now. There's no time to get to it. Be prepared. Maybe you can get to a Medusa perhaps in the next turn. Not now, but Elsa is going to be a nice character to come down and clear this turnabout potentially.
That's a pretty good one. We take out the bog here. Unfortunately, I'm sure we wish we could hit that Smee, but it's just not going to work out with the math on that's not going to be great. So we'll take the opportunity to take out the bog, which is potentially another card for friends, right? So just trying to essentially choke him out of being able to draw cards. But we do know Franz did return that rabbit to hand, and it's coming back. So we're drawing a card deeper here, and that's what Franz needs. We just need to not run out of cards here against Gabe. And looks like Franz is doing great on that strategy right now. So
we are cook. What is dog? Do you have another song to sing? Maybe it looks like you're gearing up. No, you don't have it. I'm sorry. You have the what is that? Another Smee. So Smee for Smee is going to be on the field of play. Do you quest here? What do you do?
I think I don't know. I mean, the crab is kind of scary. Could potentially trade in and give Elsa the boost and then train into something else. So definitely doesn't feel great, but that would require Gabe to give up both characters on his side of the table and would leave us with some threats. So it's hard to say if we want to cash in the lore right away. If Gabe has another Elsa here, it could be a very big punish for not questing. So definitely a lot to think about if you're Franz here.
Oh man, very, very tough spot. We're running the numbers. I like a little bit of finger point count scenario
the
play.
Finger taps are always that means the brain's working, right? That's like a little signifier that we're cooking. We're cooking when that
I've started doing that myself in my own game. It helps. It's like a little demonic device, just a little tap. I saw some people doing that, and I've incorporated that into my own game, and it's been helping.
It definitely helps. Anything that's physical is going to be easier than trying to juggle it all on your brain. So when it comes to combat and making decisions, definitely have to give it a little tap sometimes.
And we choose to go in. Elect to get those quests up, as now you're sitting comfortably at 5 to 3, almost knotted up. You could I like that though. Just think about it for a little while, make that decision. You could give up this Smee if you felt you could lose your board. You can go trade the board up right now if you felt so inclined. I don't know if that's what you want to do. I really don't think that's the phrase that pays as we get brawled down into the inkwell.
Sure, but Franz also knows that turn 7 is rapidly approaching here, right? So, there's a card that we've been talking about that's finally making its appearance here. So we get ourselves a Medusa, but this is the interesting part, right? Do we want to take out this ready Smee, or do we want the rabbit? I think that's a good call. As much as the Smee is appetizing to take that lore off the board, I think good call by Gabe there to target the rabbit and just stop this draw while you still can, because that's the only thing that's going to keep Franz in this game, right? So Great choice there by Gabe, and good draw there as well.
That was an incredible turn. That Medusa hitting the rabbit, and now you're able to trade down the board, and you can also check down this Smee as well. So I like that turn a lot from Gabe. If you hardcast a Zeus here, would you play it on this Medusa, or would you just say, hey, I'm not going to do it, maybe threatening a potential Be Prepared or a potential Lady Tremaine or another Medusa coming off the top? Interesting turn here as well.
Yeah, taking out this Medusa with the Zeus feels kind of bad, right? You're spending
right?
4 whole ink. You're really only taking 1 lore off the board. However, if you ignore this Medusa, there's always the potential of her being bounced, right? And that could be problematic, right? If she starts coming back and doing her thing over and over again. Okay, so we have our little Elsa here, which won't be enough to cleanly take out the Medusa. So let's see what we decide here. Okay, we're just going to quest for 2. And are we gonna just have to pass?
That seemed brutal. That seemed brutal there. Just trying to get maybe trying to set up a singer to potentially sing next turn.
Yep.
But now if you get into another Medusa or swing on Smee Tremaine type beats, you're gonna be in trubs as we look like we're putting off ink. And there it is, just like you drew it up. Lady Tremaine comes in and you just lost 5 ink for nothing. That felt very, very bad.
Yeah.
2 problematic. Both of the ladies in chairs side by side, juxtaposed, and staring down the genie now.
We got these 2 ladies in red coming back just like they used to, and they're doing one last tag team here. As I'm sure Franz did not want to see that, but Franz recovering pretty well here with a genie, which will draw him a card as well as a potential card off this Diablo once he decides to cash that in. So yeah, definitely not the worst draws here. These characters, one of them has evasive, which can't be dealt with by either of these 2 in play. But if we start bouncing this Medusa, like we talked about, could be potential blouses here for that genie.
So yeah, I would hate to see that Madame Medusa going back to hand as the queen is going to find her way into the field of play. She doesn't have any damage, so she's sitting at a measly 1/4 for now. As we get a 3 cost, the crab is going to base boost whomever. It doesn't matter as a double quest comes in from both of these ladies. So crab here would be nice coming in for Franz to help remove this Medusa before she can get bounced back to hand. But I still like Gabe's spot, and they have that button, be prepared to clear it up in a moment's notice.
For sure. Yeah. Gabe in a position here where, he's allowing Franz to get potential trades in, but he always has a crackback, right? He has something waiting in the wings to trade out the trade, right? So if Franz does decide to try to start removing some of Gabe's characters here, this crab, I almost said a frog, but this crab and this Queen of Hearts, we don't have a frog yet. Crab and Queen of Hearts, are waiting in the wings here, which could potentially equal some crab shenanigans to give us some good trades as well. So, yeah, Gabe's saying bring it on if you want to come in and attack, but we are going to see this raging fire.
Okay, and we'll clear out the 2 questing undamaged lady in chair, the Lady Tremaine.
Yep,
Lady Tremaine is out of here. We still have the Madame Medusa who's up and active.
Great value.
Are you rushing in? Yeah, we're going to rush down.
Okay, yeah, so he's just essentially using Peter Pan as a 3 ink removal spell. Just going ahead and just sending him right in, and we get to clock in an extra lore with this Diablo. So not the worst part here for Franz, as he does get low on cards in hand, but his board is looking pretty decent. However, we know Gabe has not yet played a Be Prepared, and you have to think that one of those is on the way, and we're going to draw 2 cards. So that's a scary thing if you're sitting in Franz's position.
For sure. I think this be another card for card. Be prepared. I believe you'll lose the genie, you'll lose the Smee, you'll gain 1 from the Diablo, you'll lose the Be Prepared, you'll lose the queen, and you'll lose the crab. So maybe you don't even need it. I think your opponent is not pressuring you that much. If you can figure out a way to clear this genie, a brawl even would be phenomenal, because then you can clear up the Smee with the challenge next turn. So let's see if Gabe believes, and he does not. Gabe says, I've seen enough. Let's just reset and start over, and let's come in fresh, I believe.
Yeah. Not fresh. The highest value, but I think Franz has 2 cards in hand, potentially a third one now, which is still, a decent amount of cards here, but he knows Franz is getting low. So if he could just hold off on this beatdown that Franz is trying to throw at him, just a couple more turns, we could potentially, start to get ahead here, but we will get a Pete into a bounce. So we're under Pete still, even though Pete did leave the table. And now we have a 4-3 in play that could potentially be questing or singing or attacking next turn.
For sure. I would have loved to see another Tremaine come down there right now and
Mm,
just continue to put a threat onto the board. It looks like there's only 2 cards remaining in hand. Diablo really can't do too terribly much as the
mm,
Elsa is going to
yep.
come on in. Just another tempo Elsa to exert. What do you think of that play? I've seen that play twice this game. I haven't seen that too much.
I mean, we know Gabe has 1 card in hand, right? So, he's also getting pretty low here. And I guess this is the best value play he has for the ink that is available to him.
Hmm.
Obviously, we wish we could be trading this Elsa into something with our rush, but it does offer us an evasive. And we know Franz is heavy on evasive. So I think just having this Elsa in play, potentially threatening a crab next turn, still a decent play here. But yeah, both these Elsas in this game have been pretty low value.
As the Zeus just going to come on in and just
Yep.
blast this Elsa almost immediately using
See
that
you
4
later.
ink. And we'll get a little hardy quest in, keeping that Smee in hand as we'll bounce past the Madam M Fox back to hand. So you got the whole mambo set up
Oh,
as
yeah,
Pete into Snake into Fox is just vibrational harmony as
for
you
sure.
can almost set up this endless Pete scenario and protect him and keep your opponent off of actions for potentially the remainder of the game, depending on
For
how these
sure.
cards roll out.
Yeah, Fran's just juggling the transformations here, right? Just going into one, into one, into one, into one, and just kind of using them to his advantage. And so far, it's been doing a pretty good job here. As you see, Gabe is kind of out of gas, and he's going to brawl
Wait a
his
minute.
own Diablo.
I've never seen that before. Now that is a
Okay.
play. That's some next level stuff. That is some Illuminati stuff. Thoughts on that maneuver? I've never seen that before in my
So, I
life.
mean, desperate times call for desperate measures. I mean, Gabe clearly thinking that he needs a card more than he needs that brawl and that Diablo. However, he's not able to follow up with anything here. So I don't know how true that is. But yeah, Gabe 1 card deeper into his deck. But Franz, sure, he's loving that. Oh, and we get yet another Pete.
Mm-hmm. As both both players are bouncing heavily, although it did get to the point that Franz was not able to keep another animal in hand. So your endless genjutsu of bounce to protect this Pete kind of comes to an end unless you have another one in rotation. So let's see how you break this down. You can get a quest in, I think, quite freely if you wanted to, as you put probably Pete back in, as there is a library. Look at
That's gonna
that.
be a tough one, right? So that one, usually library kind of low value against purple decks because you just are able to, crab, fox, bounce crab, and pretty much
Yeah.
one shot these locations. But being that Gabe is so low on cards in hand, if he's not able to really deal with this library, Franz might be able to start drawing more cards to Gabe. And we
Mhm.
saw in the first game how powerful that can be if you're able to draw more cards. So that's a great play here and something that's going to be tough to immediately deal with unless we have crabs.
Yeah, and crab here would one shot the library as it looks like we're going to put in 5 into it. Even another fox coming down, and it looks like we are. What's happening here?
Gabe, scoop it up.
Are we scooping?
Hmm.
I think that might have been a little preempt. I'm a big proponent of early scoop. There is 18 minutes left in the round.
Okay.
As he is going to scoop it up. I think that might have been a bit premature. There was a lot of meat left on that bone, Skinner. What do you think?
Yeah, that's a little awkward there. I mean, maybe maybe Gabe seeing that he just doesn't like his chances here, would rather see a game 3 on the play. But I also feel like there was a lot of game left to play there.
Yeah.
And although Franz was getting into the zone, I don't know if I like that. But Gabe choosing to just go ahead and pass it on to the next one and hoping he could just get it done on this one.
For sure. And you will get a chance to be on the play for the first time. And I guess looking at the time, you're sitting at a nice little 20 minutes remaining in the round. So potentially you might have thought that, if you're brawling your own guys, your hand must have just been absolutely not great. And you just didn't have a lot of resources to generate and you just didn't want to grind it out. So you could have grinded it for another 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes potentially and just gave you less time to play on the play. So maybe that's what Gabe was feeling. We'll have to ask him in the post game, but I do think there was a little bit of meat left in there.
I wholeheartedly agree with you, JD. I think that's a very good analysis. And although I think we could have grinded it out and maybe seen a potential turnaround there, Gabe just deciding, you know what, let me save time and let's just start this again. So Yeah, I don't hate it. I mean, more power to Gabe. He wants to do this in dramatic fashion. Take it to game 7, if you will.
For sure.
But
Gabe
is
a true showman. Okay, he's here for the fans. Okay, he's not here for himself. He wants a game 3, and he wants to put something on it. This is for all the marbles, So he's full of red eggs. I mean, he's basically 90% red 40 and red 5 at this point.
Exactly.
So I don't know if that's going to help, cloud his judgment or something like that. And that's probably why he's playing Ruby. Actually, I just thought about that too.
100%. Gabe's definitely at least 7 different shades of red inside. So yeah, he's locked in. He's shaded up with red, and he's ready to play some of these Ruby cards and hopefully see more rabbits this game, right? I mean, that first game, those 4 rabbits kind of buried Franz, but you see Franz this game able to kind of chain his rabbits together and bury Gabe. So it's a lot of who can get to the cards, who can draw more cards, and it's going to be interesting to see who can do it.
I think the story of that previous game, it was just that Fox turn, that Chernobog. It's sometimes just a play like that is just so demoralizing. It'll just kind of toss you right up out of there mentally, physically, spiritually, as you kind of got immediately punished with the Fox. You were doing so well, and then the Fox just came out of nowhere and just RKO'd you right up out of there. So turns like that, even though we're very early on, and maybe it just kind of snowballed into what eventually transpired as we got the Smee into the Inkwell, followed by the Broom to check down the Chernobogs.
For sure. Yeah, and Gabe, I don't think he's going to make that mistake twice. I would think he's going to probably cash in his Chernobog here, but we will see as he inks the goat. Okay, Questin with the Boggin. Yeah, he said, I'm not leaving that guy anymore. He's going to the bin. So, okay, as we lit up a little janitor squad here, double Broom.
Okay, and that is and actually what he did last time, just a nice double spell on 2, double Broom out, and let's see if we got the Diablo who's going to come down popping Broom for a switch out. So both players just engaging in one cost tactics. Do you have another one cost to go along with it?
I was about to say both players just slamming 1-drops here, and all of them drawing cards. So yeah, it's just the battle of the Amethyst 1-drops at the moment. And yeah, I mean both players just getting in their ink up and cycling through their deck early and just trying to get to those mid game to end game cards here. And Brooms will get in there for 2. Curious to see if Gabe follows this up with a potential double draw here. Could be. He's inking the Crab, which is a pretty good card to have, but I guess Gabe maybe having more than one in the deck or not really worried about it. Okay, so we have double Crab.
2. And he's probably not going to pop. You got to really, really milk these 1-cost characters. But if you get the follow-up Fox again, you're going to be like, oh, my gosh, can't happen to me twice. If it happens to you once, it can't happen to you twice, right? There's got to be some rules of the house. If Fox can get another plus value on you, you hate to see it. Or if Crab comes in and just blasts one of these magic Brooms. I don't know. That feels... I'd like to keep my guys safe. Maybe that's I get too emotionally attached to my guys.
And you see he inks the Fox, so he definitely had it, but he chooses to pan instead. Just so many ways to deal with these characters on turn 3. So I think potentially another slip up there. I'm not a really big fan of keeping those Brooms just sideways there, but
for sure, so much can go. I think so much can go wrong. You got to cash them in, or you got to bounce them back to hand, or just don't exert them. I mean, leave them ready, and then make your opponent exert their characters into it. As friends on the other side is going to come on in. So Crab is now exerted with these 2 Diablos standing ready, just waiting for a crabbing of their own.
For sure, yeah. But getting 2 cards out for that makes it feel not so bad if they do decide to cash in one of these Diablos here. I do like being able to sing with my Crab, but now we're going to probably get another 4-drop. Could be Goat, could be Rabbit. It is a Goat. Okay. So putting a 4-powered character in play, very important. And getting to draw a card off the Broom will also be a nice little way to keep the gas going as Gabe applies some pressure to the board here. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if these 0-1 Diablos are able to do anything about it.
Right. I think these Diablos have just been sitting there menacingly for some time now. And he inks the Crab. So maybe he's just feeling something else. Oh, the freaking Iago. Oh, my goodness. The mega punish again.
From the top rope. Ooh. Here comes this giant bird rushing in. And as I mentioned earlier, that card is very problematic for red purple, especially Gabe's version that's not heavy on the evasives. So this Iago just chunking and could potentially chunk this Merlin next turn too if he's not careful.
You could have gambled. You could have went crab that turn and then Iago next turn if you felt so inclined, but you didn't want to get your Peter Pan brawl before you can pull off this haymaker. Whenever I get the Peter Pan Iago, I gotta take it.
You gotta do it.
Something comes over me. I can't do it. But you could have gambled a little bit and crabbed into that and Diabloed into the crab and then Iago to the next turn and got the goat as well.
Potentially.
The moral, I would have been so demoralized by that I think I would have had to just scoop the game if that were to happen.
Absolutely. Maybe just not having a card he felt was worth inking more than the crab was. But yeah, I'm interested to know what exactly the thought process there. But I do love me a little Iago action, so I don't hate it all. I don't hate it entirely.
And my play would have been broken up by the brawl that he did have anyway. So the queen comes down. If we're going to turn 5, if this bell comes in, the crowd goes wild, and it is just an absolute backbreaker. No bell, you can't have it. Even Elsa is not too bad either.
Yeah, I was even playing Bell in green purple with Iagos, and Bell is just, I have played very little cards that catch people off guard the way Bell does. She just comes down and throws the math off of everything. And we're getting a Zeus as well, which is really nice sticking off of this Iago. So getting a free 5 damage after already bashing into a crab. So this Iago just providing a lot of value here.
And I think, when I think of that Bell card, I think of more like almost like a Rapunzel trap, but different. Like it just comes out of nowhere. It can just seeing that 3 damage. And I know just looking at this deck list is very capable of playing that Bell the Accomplished Mystic. You got to always be it's a threat that could just happen at any moment. The goat's got 3, the rabbit's got 3, fox got 3, all the stuff's got 3. And it looks like the goat is preparing to get in for a challenge.
Goat's gonna get froggy here as it's interesting to see. I mean, do we want to trade into a Diablo? That doesn't feel good, right? I think we just got a quest here, and I think that's what he chooses to do.
Okay.
Yeah, either quest or sing, but definitely I don't think we want to be bashing into a Diablo here. I don't think that feels great, unless we're worried about the lore total. But it's gonna be
Gabe is out front, up by 1 as of right now. Goat representing another, as we have a nice strong board established. As you stated, this Iago can dunk on this Merlin, but if you can get to a bell, and there it is. Oh my goodness, the Accomplished Mystic is down.
Combo breaker.
That is a tempo annihilator right there, as it totally happened. You set it up and you knocked it down. The Iago Bell combination clears the rabbit and then dunks on the goat. Oh my goodness.
All of a sudden, it's not looking great for Gabe here, as Franz has managed to put up quite a board here. And unless we're getting into a Be Prepared very soon, it's going to be tough for Gabe to deal with all these characters. And that's a lot of lore next turn as well. So, okay, we have fighting back a little bit. Yeah, but that's the thing, right? We're taking out the rabbit, I would imagine. But
I hate that. I hate the way that feels. As they're both 4s. You cannot go after Iago. You cannot go after Bell. It's got to be the rabbit. So you will go 1 for just clear the rabbit. He really replace himself. Oh,
that's it's not a good feeling. We got another Zeus.
And now that's a 4-lore threat piece coming your way. So we got to ink and prep here to even resalvage this.
Not even. We got a Pete.
Down. Oh, that hurts.
That's a big one. And look at what I mentioned. This Iago just freely just doing whatever he wants. He's saying 2 Zeuses. He is attacked. He's just essentially this floating thing in play that just allows you to pressure the board, sing songs, and red purple just not able to deal with it efficiently.
And just looking at Franz's ink, he has enough to bounce this Pete and redeploy this Pete for the endless Pete barrage. I think you got to send this Fox in on a Bell mission here just to clear this freaking Bell, because the bouncing of the Bell seems just as bad as the bouncing of a Pete almost, but not really, because you won't be able to redeploy it. But still, that's just such a mess to get that thing back down again. If you go snake bounce, play Pete, I think the game might just come to a screeching halt. You're sitting at 13. Hardcast friends, that's a good sign for you.
Okay.
If you are Gabe.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely like to see that.
Never mind.
We don't like to see the one after. We definitely don't like the one after. And we can only imagine we will be permanently locked out of Be Prepared for the rest of this game here, as Franz is more than likely just going to keep bouncing these Petes and reapplying their effects. And Gabe is just going to have to find a way to deal with all these characters without an action, which I don't know if it's possible.
This one is absolutely Jover, unless you got some type of Maui whale type situation. If you can multiply your ink by 3, play Maui whale with the Vitalosphere, you're on your way. But I just don't Scar the vicious cheater. You got that? I don't. That would be kind of good if you had it.
It would be kind of good, but and Gabe says I scoop. I concede. Oh no, Gabe! I'm sure dreading this post game interview now after this epic game against Franz here. Shout out to Franz for keeping it together after a disappointing game 1 and just locking in for 2 and 3 and putting game to the ground and taking it 2-1.
But it looks like
Gabe giving a little chuckle here.
It looks like we have both of the play. You guys are all playing from Freddy's abode, it seems, and I got to come in first and say congratulations to you, Franz, for coming out and getting to the dub, taking down Gabe. I know Gabe was motivated in training, coming out, being prepared, ready to play, but you knocked him down. And I thought you had a disadvantageous matchup, but I think you navigated the obstacles very well, and you really demonstrated what your strategy was trying to do, putting Gabe in some tough spots, getting some supreme value from that Iago and the Bell. Can you just talk about your strategy? That deck seems way too fair. I think you're not doing any of the broken stuff that the deck is known to do. Can you just talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So during the course of this set and last set, I was talking with a bunch of higher level players that I play with a ton, and you're doing one of two things in this game. You are either playing the most fair game possible and drawing the most cards and doing your best to play on the draw, or you're going for the most broken interactions possible. Discard, shark, everything else. Those are playing for those broken interactions. Steel Song. Everyone says that that's the deck that plays the most Lorcana, and it's just like Hyrule City. But ever since last set, Purple Steel with Pete and with the 2 drops of Smee and Calhoun and the insane 1 drops plus the bounce package, I think this deck was one of the most well-positioned decks at going second in the game. And I think being able to confidently win on the draw against players on your level or even better than you, I think is something that is really important in this game, especially in 2-game format.
Absolutely, and we did notice some of the strengths come to light, especially in that game number 3. You were able to really get some value with that Peter Pan Shadow Finder. Iago just went absolutely insane. Bell the Accomplished Mystic. Can you just elaborate on that line? I know a lot of people feel very strongly about that line of play. How has that been working for you in your testing and in some of your events that you played aside from this one?
I mean, yeah. So obviously, the Peter Pan Shadow Finder is tech mainly for the Diablo. It's very much a targeted Diablo card, but with Iago being a 4/6, just a large thing that comes down as an evasive that can also rush. Like we've seen it all throughout Lorcana, where Maui 5-drop comes down with a big body and big attack and can trade at least once, if not twice. Sorry, not trade. Get advantageous attacks once, if not twice, in the course of like that turns 5 and 6. This is just doing that exact same thing on turn 4. And with the ability of Purple and Steel to have some of the best 3 and 4 cost songs available to you, and now with Bell Mystic being able to curve that Shadow Finder Iago into Bell gets a ton of board swing, as you saw in 3.
And it heals the Iago and just puts him back into the combat zone again. But we got Skinner's here. Well, I'm sorry hogging the whole interview. Skinner, what are some things? My bad. I'm so sorry, Skinner. You guys left me. You guys abandoned me in SSG the other day. I don't want to hear it. Okay, let me. No. I'm kidding. I'm joking.
Don't do this to my heart.
We won't. But Skinner, I'm sure you saw some things there. Before we kick it over to Gabe, and I know Gabe is dreading everything we're about to say to him. Okay, but what do you got for our winner, Franz, before we kick it over to Gabe?
Of course, as I was mentioning earlier in the broadcast, I know Franz through Green Purple, and I know Gabe through Green Purple. So we're all kind of Green Purple gang, and it was interesting to see both of you not on Green Purple today. So it was cool to see you guys flex your chops on something different. But yeah, I thought it was a great matchup. Game 1, I felt like pretty clearly, the quadruple rabbit just kind of buried you in cards a little bit, Franz. And I seem to be, this matchup I know is a lot about who sees more cards and who's able to kind of dig through the deck a little deeper. Yep. And I think that you recovered greatly. Game 2 and Game 3, obviously backbreaking wombo combo with the Bell in Game 3, which really just slapped the tempo on Gabe there. And yeah, Gabe just not really able to deal with Iago in this matchup, right? Like just so much value. I think you're saying 2 Zeuses, you bash into a crab, and like it's just like that unanswerable parrot in the sky seemed to be a really big problem here. So when you're going into game 2 and game 3, knowing what Gabe is playing, are you thinking, okay, I didn't see many evasives in his deck, that's the kind of the route I want to go, or what are you thinking in those situations?
So I think in the back of my mind, I haven't seen evasives. I haven't seen the shark package. So Iago is going to be a pretty good card in that matchup. So I'm on the play in game 2. I'm generally looking for 3 1-drops or 1-drop into Mr. Smee, into Shadowfinder, into Iago, into Bell, or Elsa. Obviously,
Sure.
that didn't happen in game 2. It took both of us a lot of grindy until I was finally able to get a library on a board state that was pretty at parity already. So I think that wins the game in probably in like 3 or 4 turns. And I think it was a pretty heads up concession by my opponent there to get us to game 3 in the amount of time that we had left to complete it.
For sure. Yeah, JD and I commented on that a little bit. We felt like maybe there's a little more, as he said, meat left on the bone in that game, potential to see a few more cards there, but just Gabe recognizing that library more than likely going to bury him in cards before he can deal with it. And I think it was a great call to just go ahead and say, all right, let me go on the play for game 3, considering that, time is ticking. So I thought it was a great call, but obviously that library very powerful in that situation there after that board clear. So yeah, great heads up on that.
Absolutely. And while we're on that subject, I guess we can go ahead and bring Gabe in now, who I'm sure is just dreading this conversation. Gabe.
Never. I'm
Gabe.
never. I want you to understand something. No, hold on. Before you say something, let me say something. All right. You've been talking this whole time. It's my turn, JDZ.
Okay.
Number one. Well, no, it's not even a pop off. So, but let's just say this, okay? Mad respect for Friends. I want to say that first. So thank you for very very hard fought fights. That was awesome. Those were great matches to be able to think through that. So in terms of just where that match went, the whole way it was tough. I had a decision to make. I was the last 3 weeks I've been playing between, do I play the evasive package? Do I run the bounce package? Do I run the evasive package? Do I run the bounce package? And what I ultimately had decided was, I'm like, you know what? I want something that's consistent. I want something that is going to be relatively 50-50, that I can get a lot of reps in, and then maybe the matchup goes one way or the other. And unfortunately, Franz just took the whole thing. Franz was congratulations, thank you for the matches. I'm not even mad about it, and I feel like nobody should be mad about losing, right? Because here's what I get to do. Franz, I'm going to challenge you for a future time. I want to do my Pokemon run. I'm going to go and get my badges one more time. I got to earn my badges again, and I want a one-on-one with you again, Franz, in the future. If you're okay with that,
you know what we can do?
What's that?
Let's go ahead and set a charity event. You and me, best of 5. We'll play 3 decks, and winner has to throw some money at a charity of the other's choice.
You guys are watching history in the making right now.
Okay, I like that. I like that.
That's what I like.
I like that. I like that.
A first ICL rebuttal, but that's in the future. I'm glad we can, and maybe we can coordinate that and get that onto the program. But let's just talk about this match. As Skinner mentioned when we're talking to Franz, the match number 1, everything kind of went your way. You had these rabbits, but there was some turns in game 2 and 3. Can you just talk about some of that early game, the choices of the Chernobog, leaving those characters exerted, the Madam M Fox plays that could have come up, or losing those brooms without cashing them in? Can you just talk about that? Some of the decision where you just gambling and it didn't pay out for you, or were you just trying to get as much as you could out of your 1-cost characters before they got deleted?
I was trying to get as much as I could out of them. I would say the brooms specifically, when I went to double brooms, that's certainly a bit of a greedy move, but I knew that I needed to be a little bit faster. So I was trying to collect some of that lore earlier on, and I was hoping that I can get at least one of those in. So when I lost those, that was kind of rough. However, I was thinking okay, at the moment when I was playing, I was on the draw. I had one more card up, so I was technically 1 card ahead. So if I lost I didn't feel that it was that bad to lose the bogs in that moment, given that space, because I'm like, well, I'm 1 card up. So if I do lose the bogs, it's not the worst thing in the world. I might be able to get out of it with some of the things I have in my hand. I was trusting the deck to do the things it needed to do. As you probably saw, as I missed a couple of inks, it didn't clearly. And so, unfortunately, just the cards didn't line up the way they needed to line up for me to be able to do the things. And I took a gamble, and that gamble did not pay off, unfortunately.
I got one more question before I kick it over to your good brother Skinner over here. The deck choice. I know and he mentioned that as well. Emerald and Amethyst is something that you harp about all the time. You talk about, we shared a lot of time in the booth, and you talk about you're an Emerald Amethyst guy. You're showing up to the ICL, and you're not going to do the thing that we expect you to do. You're not going to ride the horse that got you there. Can you just talk about your deck choice and why didn't you go with the deck that you're known to play?
For exactly that reason. People know it. People know that it's my deck choice. I would imagine if anybody knew they were going up against the Illuminati, if they knew that Gabriel was going to be a part of that lineup, that there's a 1 in 3 shot that there was going to be Emerald Amethyst, and I said, let me go ahead and mess. If that's what they're planning, let me at least mess that up a little bit, and that's why I put in the reps that I did. I figured I like Amethyst. That's a good color. That's a good part of that deck combination. I like drawing a lot. Let me go ahead and see if I can shut my opponent down with the Ruby part, and yeah.
My theory, all the red eggs that you've been eating would make you think that the red eggs you got to play Ruby because of all the red.
You know what? I like that lore. Let's go with that. I ate too many red eggs and the green turned red.
Absolutely. Skinner, what do you got for Gabe? What do you see in his game, man? And I know that's your good friend, so you don't have to be too hard on him. I mean, I'm sure he's feeling bad enough, but don't be too hard on him. What do you got for Gabe here, Skinner?
Well, first of all, he's going to have to do a reapplication to be back in the booth, so we'll handle that later because we were hyping him up today, and you let me. I love to see Franz win as the homie as well, but
yes,
Gabe,
I wasn't mad about it.
We had high hopes for you, brother, but you played great. Again, like JDZ mentioned, a little bit of a greedy plays at times, with questing and kind of getting punished, and Franz just having the punish, like when you were turning the crab sideways, he had the punish with the Iago rushing in, and when you turned the turnip box sideways, he had the fox rushing in. Excuse me. So a couple of those punishes really throwing the tempo into Franz's favor. But how did you feel in general with this matchup? I mean, after seeing 4 rabbits game 1 and drawing a million cards, how were you feeling going into game 2 and 3 before obviously knowing the results?
Yeah, well, I trusted that I would see something to that same effect. I trusted that I would probably be able to outdraw myself out of a bad spot. I didn't. Game 1, I was upwards of like 6-7 cards in hand, pretty much like the majority of the game. And so and that's generally the match. That's generally how the game goes. That's why you play Ruby Amethyst, is because you anticipate having way more cards than your opponent. And I just did not catch the breaks that I needed to catch in order to do that moving forward. Both games 2 and 3, I think at most I was sitting like after like the initial sequence of like 2 or 3 turns, I think I might have been sitting at 3 cards at best if I was lucky. I felt like I was a Ruby Sapphire deck and I lost my Hiram is what I felt
for sure. And I know we already touched on this as well, but just the decision in game 2 to kind of scoop it up felt a little bit abrupt. Obviously, we all can see the writing on the walls of what likely would have happened over the next 3 turns. But talk to me about your decision there. Were we looking at the clock? Were you just saying, this is chalk, like let's go again, or what was your thought process in that moment?
Yeah, so we were getting near the end. I had 1 card in hand. It was a Be Prepared, and I decided, well, if I can keep clamoring out characters, you know what? Let me at least try. When the second card I drew was the second Be Prepared, and at that point I said, "What am I doing here? What am I doing here? Let me just."
Is that what made you go into the Brawl Diablo line? Because I've never seen a play like that.
You brawled your own Diablo.
Just to keep it moving, just to have something to do. Okay.
Because I was choked out. There was nothing. There was like it was either let the library win the game or figure out a way to get more cards into my hand. Just because I was choked out. There was nothing I could do. Friends got me in a headlock, bro. Got me in a headlock. That hurt.
I was throwing those Pete's, man. I was going back and forth. I was like, I got a snake, a fox, a Pete, and a random Zeus in my hand doing nothing. I just gotta throw some Pete's on the board.
Yeah, that game 3, I think like Franz had the potential to like lock you out of actions for like 5 turns. Like he was just playing Pete, bouncing Pete, playing Pete, pouncing Pete, and then he had more bounce in hand with the Pete's in play. So like there was no actions coming for quite some time. So very impressive play. Yep, and loving the tie-dye hoodie as well. We were talking about it. We need more tie-dye in the ICL. So shout out to Franz for bringing out the tie-dye today.
Absolutely. Everyone's Knuff in here. We're all Knuff.
We are all enough.
Nice. But gentlemen, I did like the matchup. I thought it was incredible. I think both you guys played it as well as you could. Fantastic matchup. But we're going to pass it off because we got another all important round number 3 coming up. For it all. I mean, this is for all the marbles here as the loungers and the Illuminati are trying to make it into the postseason. But we're going to do some quick shout outs. Gabe, we'll start with you first. Any shout outs you want to give before we wrap this thing up and sign it on off to the next round?
Yeah, I'd be remiss not to. I got to, of course, mention the Illuminati. Shout out to the team. I know Nassif did the same thing. Shout out to the homies, to the friends, everybody out there. I do, so that we got that there. I do want to shout out Ray as well. Ray from SSG. Yeah, he, I threw my deck list at him a couple times. He gave me a couple recommendations. So, I just want to make sure I show some respect and honor to our future teammate, the future team of the in the ICL for Southside Gaming. Helped me out a little bit there too. So thank you for that. And yeah, just of course, can't wait to see you all. We've got another event coming up. Reign of Jafar release event going to be crazy in Southside Gaming. Make sure you check that out. I'll be there. Skinner will be there. It'll be a fun time. Yeah, and that's it. That's it from my end.
Let's go. All right, we'll pass it on over to Franz, who is Kenough, dude. Any shout outs you want to give? And congratulations again on your victory, breaking the putting an all important match 3 in for the ICL on a Wednesday.
Thank you very much, and again, congrats to you, JDZ. We love to see you at Worlds. Can't wait to hear you.
Let's go. It's gonna be a good time.
Absolutely, right? Obviously, shout outs to the loungers. Everyone in there is fantastic, always helping me out, always down for some games. Specifically Cran, he's the one that helped me out most with this list, with the evasive list. He is a purple messiah. Dude will play any purple deck and he'll be at a level that I would expect to top of DLC. And then back home in Raleigh, the Uninkables, my boys, everyone there, I love you guys. Let's keep it up and get through the season and start going next one.
Let's get it. All right, fellas. Well, we'll let you guys go. Let's go celebrate with your teams. And Gabe, go ahead and get into the locker room and let's get remotivated and let's pump it up for the round number 3. This is for all the marbles, gentlemen. But again, thank you so much for your participation as always. And we'll see you both in the next round. And Skinner, can you hear me, man? You got to talk to Gabe, man. He's got to lock back in and get laser focused. Put them red eggs down and pick up them cars and get active, man.
He's kind of a little rusty, man. He's.
I can't hear you. You got to come back in. You got to come back into the dough. I can't hear. Oh, that's my fault. It's my fault. Here we go.
Are you good?
Here we go.
Are we good?
It's
I'm locked in.
I'm not locked in.
Sure.
Now
you're the regular here. I'm just, I'm working on the fly here. But yeah, Gabe. I mean, hate to see it, right? That's the homie, but. I think he played great. Like I said, considering he's playing a deck that he's not as comfortable on, I think he did great. Absolutely. And yeah, some room for improvements, like always. Some rust to get the cobwebs to take off. We've been a little rusty being in the booth all the time, but I think he showed a great try there. And I think Franz played it amazingly, as I expected. Franz is a great player as well. So very fun matchup.
Oh, for sure. But Skinner, I mean, I know a lot of people know who you are and where to find you, but go ahead and give your shout outs and let us know again for those who may be sleeping right now. Tell them to wake up and let them know where to find you.
Yeah, for sure. You can find me at 1st to 20. The word first spelled out, 2 spelled out, and then 20 the number. You can find me on X, which is where I do most of my chatting, but I'm also trying to get better with my YouTube and my Twitch stuff. So definitely follow me on there as well. Trying to lock in like JDZ. And yeah, I know it's already been shouted out, but if you want to go follow me on Twitter or even check out my Twitter, we already posted the melee link for the Big Jafar tournament, May 31st. It's affordable entry. It's going to be, infinite cases. You know how SSG does their stuff. We're going to have play mats involved. There's going to be bounties. There's going to be, you could already expect a bunch of craziness. So definitely go try to sign up for that. It's 150 seats and they do fill up quickly. So definitely go check that out and lock in. And yeah, those are my shout outs.
Let's do it, Skinner. And I got shout outs too. I mean, I want to shout out the judges as well, and shout out to Luke, the production behind the scene, and everyone who's making this ICL thing pop. I believe we got Leo, who's going to be wearing the gown and swinging the gavel tonight. So huge shout out to her. Every time she's in the booth, it's going smooth sailing. Not taking anything away from any of the other judges we have, but shout out to her and everybody else we got supporting this thing. But I think I'm going to be here. I got another round, Skinner. So I'll say goodbye to you, and I'm going to bring in our next round 3 commentator, some person you might recognize. Mr. Lofi is coming back in. You recognize it from the pregame show, the postgame show, and he's trying to get his commentary chops in, and he's going to step in with me as he's going to do this thing. But Lofi, did you get a chance to see those first 2 rounds in this tournament so far in this ICL on a Wednesday?
I did. It's some epic action, and I want to give it a shot like you do. I'm locked in. We're rocking. Okay. We're talking. Let's go. It's JDZ.
Let's go.
It's round 3.
Hey,
ICL. Now, I know your prediction was 3-0 Illuminati, but
hey, I had to call it. I had to call it. I didn't know. Had I known Gabe wasn't doing his thing, I never would have made that prediction. Okay. If you'd have told me Gabe's going to show up doing what he's supposed to do, he's going to get cute and fancy on the ICL night. I hate to see it. Okay, Gabe, I got you in the dojo. You're going to come out here throwing curveballs, but that's in the past now. This is the all important round number 3, and they left a ringer here in round number 3. They got Freddie coming in versus Braden. Both of these players, I think, would be the icons of the team, the winners of the team. Not the winners, but the staples. I think the backbone of the organization is up here in this all important game 3. Who do you think is going to win? What do you think? What do you know about these players? If you know anything, I know that Freddie's going to be Steel Song for sure. Okay, if he's not playing Steel Song, I'm cutting the stream off. We're getting out of here.
Well, don't cut that stream just yet. But, my heart is with Illuminati. That's who I chose from the pre-show. But based on these sleeves, I'm thinking that might be a trap from Freddie over here.
Okay. You think, and I think Gabe did bring up a great point. Like, if you are a known entity, maybe you don't want to do what you're supposed to do. But I don't think Freddie's going to show up to a tournament not playing Steel Song. He's definitely not new to this. He's for sure true to this. And I want to see how it goes out. So Steel Song is a deck that I'm sure has been super buffed with the disappearance of Hiram, Flaversham, and Ruby Sapphire taking a huge step back. I still think the deck is quite strong. So I'm going to see what Braden's going to bring to this thing. What do you know about Braden? What do you know about his tendencies in this set 7 Hiram-free metagame?
Honestly, both of these players are unknowns for me, but you were talking about known entities, and there's playing to your strengths, and sometimes giving up those strengths to try something new just isn't worth it. And like you said, Ruby Sapphire lost some cards, but Steel Song's just been getting them. It's honestly hard to pick what you're putting in. Rather than what you're taking out.
They got so many options to choose from, man. So many new toys to play with. So I think if you guys are interested in playing Steel Song in your set championships that are coming up, I'm sure there's going to be a nice medley of set championships this weekend. Maybe choose one of these decks and start there, and maybe retooling that to your own experience.
Yeah,
did you get a chance to get your set champ on this weekend?
I have not. I actually am going light this season. I'm doing one, but I'm locked in. I'm playing some Blurple.
Let's go.
Yeah.
A little bit of Blurple out there.
How about you, JDZ? What did you
play? So far I've played one. I think I might go and play another one on Saturday. I had to go out there and get to the dub. Okay. I can't take these headphones off from time to time, this blazer off, and get to the dojo. So I did go out there and get to the win, but it was a smaller event. I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't like the DLC or anything like that, but it was still a good time, and I'm glad I had a chance to get out there and play and experience the community aspect of it.
It's important to stretch your legs, stretch your wings.
You know what I'm saying? You got to stay. You got to stay active, because people like to make fun of the broadcast team. Shout out to Gabe and Skinner. They like to make fun of us, but sometimes we can get out there and mix it up from time to time. As I believe the game is underway, we're ready to go. Let's lock in and let's get laser focused. And everyone at home, make sure you go ahead and hit a follow onto the program. If you got a Prime Dog Nazi sitting around, toss it in a bucket for Luke so he can pay some of these Twitch bills to keep this thing going for the ICL. And I'm sure that he would appreciate it as we are on our way. It looks like Braden will be, Freddie is actually going to get to go first because Gabe went down that last round.
Yeah, and I just actually noticed Freddie already rocking that champion playmat here on the left.
Done.
He went to set champs and he got it done. Yeah.
He went out there and got it done. And I think that is there's something critically important about that we don't talk about, is that, players are good and these top players are going to always be these top players. But if you're not out there in the dojo mixing it up and getting loose and keeping your wings spread, like you said, you can atrophy. Okay, this thing is not like riding a bike. This game requires constant momentum and constant motion. And Freddie getting that champion mat on week 1.
If that doesn't scream Steel Song, I don't know what does.
Absolutely. Coming on out with the turn 1 Daisy. We're going to ink the Cinderella, though. So maybe you think that you have some insider information on what your opposition is playing as you ink what is happening here. In accidental zoom. That's scary. What kind of technology he got going on over there?
The broadcast team, we just keep getting better and better with the production.
I like that.
But sometimes Cinderella, she's got to be a good wing woman for Daisy. And based on that, I think we're seeing a Steel Song mirror.
We got the mirror. Maybe Freddie knew that the mirror was something that he was getting into, as Braden is playing a little bit of Steel Song as well. Daisy gets a little quick quest in for 2. The mirror. What do you think about this mirror? I think this is one of the most obnoxious mirrors in the entire game.
Daisy sending a daisy to the other player's hand. I do agree with you. I feel like this matchup in particular can be oh my goodness, the daisy chain. I was gonna say this mirror can be incredibly frustrating because once you have the tempo, once you have the board, it's so hard to lose it. And if you're on the back foot and your opponent is giving you the storm and they're just letting it rage, it's not a good feeling at all.
It is just so annoying. As we're gonna go for a daisy, the rare and indigenous triple daisy opener, you absolutely hate to see it, and that is just brutality. As Freddie has opened this ridiculous combination of cards, they can quest for a Jillian here, and you can then turn around and sing Whole New World before your opponent can get access to use all those cards they could potentially get plus from.
I was actually just about to touch on that. Typically, there might be a way in. You know, I might draw 3 characters right here as we say bare necessities go to the bottom, but sure, your opponent draws 3 characters, but you're just going to put them back into the discard pile with a Whole New World.
Yeah, so that is just something else, as that is a huge lore swing as well. Freddie's already sitting at 8 after Daisy has gone berserk, as Gaston is going to be the first singer established, singer 5, and you don't have the characters available to sing a Strength of a Raging Fire. So this bad boy might actually pop off, unless you can shift Robin Hood sing. You can definitely do that, but that still won't be enough characters in play in order to clear this tanky Gaston, who can just turn around and rip a Whole New World right here, and that's just going to be a mess if you quest these days. It's insane.
Yeah, there is some hope. There are some lines that Braden can go through. Maybe Robin Hood will shift, and we'll see Zeus come along.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I stole that one from Liam from last week. I can't take credit for that one.
That's pretty good. No, you can steal. It's fair to steal, but you do have the Pete coming in. Oh, we did see the Pete get delivered from a Daisy, so that is a great sign for you to kind of help shake up this Gaston. But do you send some challenges into these Daisies here now?
This is such a tough position. I mean, if you don't, your opponent's already at 14, and that's just one more Daisy chain away from victory, and that's not even counting what they have. The only real scary thing is if you challenge, let's just say we take both characters into Daisy. Well, another Daisy can come back across, take out the Smee, and Rapunzel can say, "Give me 3."
That's rough. That is literally the definition of a rock and a hard place. I think triple Daisy is just hard to navigate through, no matter what strategy you're playing. Unless if you got Amethyst, it might be a little more easy, a little easier to combat that, since they have foxes and they have crabs and they have different things to engage with that 4. That 4 in the willpower is just so tough to negotiate from time to time, as you will have to send into this Daisy. So just like you said, we can even clear the Smee into Rapunzel value, and that is just a tempo blaster as well. Oh my goodness, please don't do it to him, Freddie. He's got a family.
We'll see if Freddie has it all here, but if I'm on the side of Braden, I'm looking up, I'm saying, okay, he played Gaston out. That probably means a Whole New World was what I was aiming for here. And now we're seeing the Pete control side of the deck come out.
And that will kind of set up for another Whole New World situation, as we do get 2 more characters being added back to hand, and that is not the worst. I think you might have to just put an up tempo, or just put out a Naveen no song here, just so if he does go into a Whole New World play, you'll at least have something for your troubles, or at least try to put as many singers out as possible. So Freddie still selling Whole New World hard with this Gaston up, as we go Pete for Pete to stop the potential clearing of Gaston.
Yeah, Pete being such a key card in this matchup, because it costs 3, meaning it can sing Let the Storm Rage On, it can sing Strength of a Raging Fire, but it also gives you a turn to breathe. It says, you know what, please don't sing on me. I need a moment to myself. And then it threatens to sing back. So
I'd love to see another Pete. If you can go Pete here again, if you are Braden, that might be pretty decent to stop this potential sing, because I don't see how many cards are in Braden's hands, but it's got to be a lot after all these Daisy triggers. And there's a lot of good stuff too. There's some Naveens in there. You got some Troubadours in there. You got a nice bounty a medley. Look how thick that hand is. Hey, yo, no pause. That is a lot of units you got in there. And a Whole New World here is devastating. You can only ink and play so much, but you can't play any of your songs with. And it looks like we are clearing another Daisy.
Braden, I got to give him all the credit in the world. It is tough to bite down on the mouthpiece and just push forward in matches.
He does have another Pete though,
and another Robin Hood. Okay,
let's go. Okay, so now Freddie's gonna need another Pete as this Pete war is raging on. A third Pete coming in for Freddie is devastation central as we get Lawrence out on 4, still holding on to 1, potentially that whole new world. I'm thinking it's got to be. He's selling whole new world so well. If it's not, I think that is just that's just brutal. But now you got enough singers in place and characters on board to clear this singer, and that could be great for you. You can freeze Freddie here at 3 ink, or excuse me, at 4 ink.
Yeah, and I think, as crazy as it is to say, Braden might have just weathered the storm here because he's got two 3-cost singers. He's got a full grip in the hand, and it might be his opportunity finally to spend it.
For sure. This is going to be a chance to turn the corner, as the cool kids say. You got a Daisy up who's still questing the Daisy. I guess you're going to try to also run the race as Freddie's sitting at 14. But like you said, this could be a great opportunity to turn the corner and force Freddie into a weird, hard cast, whole new world with no characters in play. As you survive the storm of the Pete on Pete on Pete. You lost the Pete Wars. You got to clear this singer now, and I think you're kind of on your way.
Yeah, Lil Wayne spoke about 3-peat many, many years ago, and and here we are still.
Still engaging in 3-peat technology as even a shift sing is not bad in this spot. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think he needs? I want to see Robin Hood. You had both of the small ones. What do you want to see here coming in for Brady? How can he turn this thing around sitting at 0 in the strength or in the lower total?
Braden needs to have some combination of songs to get rid of these readied characters on the board of Freddie, because we've prevented the whole new worlds, and we've pretty much ran Freddie out of cards. But unfortunately, that's not the song that I want to be singing at this point.
No chance. If this Gaston lives, all of it was for naught. You got to figure out a way to get that baritone bully off the field of play right now, if you can. No strength either. The gods have done you. I think you hardcast of Zeus as well. I guess if you felt some way about it, but I think you got to clear the Gaston, right? Unless your hand is also could just be bricked and you can't do anything, and you welcome a whole new world potentially.
We saw a ton of cards go into the hand of Braden, but they were all characters, and it's possible he just continued to draw characters on his downtime.
Yeah.
But we are seeing 3 go just to Lawrence.
Yeah, so it looks like the baritone bully is potentially going to survive. This Pete still has the ability to do something. Cinderella's down, and Pete is singing strength, so he had it all along. He's just a little showmanship coming in for Braden. So he had it all along. We're going to go after the Lawrence. So you are welcoming the whole new world now that you've pretty much expunged your entire hand, it seems. I think you still got a few cards left, but now if your opponent wants to sing it, you'll put the onus on them to do so as you're winning in ink and board position.
Yeah, that is an interesting call out here. Braden saying, I'm fine if we go the whole new world route. And yeah, we had it all along. But the problem I'm worried about here is Freddie is totally capable of dropping, a 2-quester, a couple 1-drops, and just a Pete of his own to prevent any more carnage from Braden coming across.
I would agree with that wholeheartedly. So it looks like I think Braden is somehow managing to turn the tides of battle and get back into this game. I think I like his position a lot better now. Freddie came out storming, and I think I prefer Braden's spot, honestly.
I'll pick a spot as soon as I see whether or not Freddie has Pete, because if he's got Pete, that's a real tough spot for Braden to be in.
Oh, concur wholeheartedly. As if you can get a nice flood in, and also you are sitting at 14 lore, so I forgot to factor that into my equation as I was analyzing his board position. So maybe not. Maybe I think 14 is might be a little too long in the tooth, as we got 3 more coming in. Is it another Pete? It is another Pete.
It is another Pete. Okay. Oof. Now we haven't seen the 4th Daisy come down. Is that where we're headed?
It can't be 4th Daisy. If it's 4th Daisy, I might have to also cut the stream off there. I can't deal with it.
All right, Pete giving some respect to that Cinderella with the storm.
As it does look like Braden is trying to do something that is very rarely done, to survive a three daisy opener, as he is doing everything he can to fight back. Pete is super strong here. Looking at the hand for Braden, it's still quite. I mean, after that whole new world, he is quite juiced. So let's see if you can flood this board. I think that, or maybe play your own Pete again. Rapunzel gets down to the inkwell. If you can play another Pete, keep this Pete war going, huh?
Yeah, I mean, Pete has been so key in, I mean, not only this matchup in general, but this game
There
in
he is.
particular. And Braden saying, "Yep, we still got him."
And we got the shift as well. So you have won another Pete exchange, as Pete is going to go after the baritone bully, going up to 4 and gaining some lore in the process. I ain't heard no bell, says Braden loudly, as we get the Lawrence to go ahead and clear the Pete as well, setting a Rapunzel trap in the process. Daisy electing not to quest. And then we'll just get 2 in with these 2 Petes. And this board is looking quite nice. And you don't have a singer set up. I think the tides are turning. Braden's got to be feeling comfortable now.
6, 10. Yeah, so we could see Braden go up to 13 on this next turn, but I'm really scared that Freddie could just have another Pete and another 2-quester, and that's all she wrote. There's no coming back from 1 quest for 3 and another Pete and a 2-quester just to set him up for the 20.
So still, yeah, like you said, he can just almost kind of double tap out of this thing. I can't see Freddie's hand. Is this Freddie's hand over here to the left? Or
It's
to the right?
5 right there in the middle.
Oh, the one in the middle. Okay.
Yeah.
So the ink is over here and the hand is over here. Gotcha.
Correct. Yeah.
Freddie is typically an ink token connoisseur, but electing to bypass the ink tokens, going straight to normal inking situation. I personally like that. As you know, you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. As this Smee and this Pete are looking quite feeble in the face of this massive board generated by Freddie. I think you got to almost instantly have to snap this Lawrence off the field of play, and maybe even get this Robin Hood out of here too, to eliminate the opposition singer, but you will lose your entire board in the process. Maybe you can build a beefy board yourself, and let's see if Freddie can do that here.
Yeah, so we do have an active Pete on board, so Freddie will have to navigate this without singing. And 3.
Look at this. What is happening? What a really strange game, as both players are playing this super Pete arms race concoction type situation, as you get a singer established in the form of Troubadour. Pete on Pete on Pete is the name of the game. Dang, 4 Pete. Yeah. That's like, how many installments of Pete have we seen so far? That's been a lot of Pete resolutions on the board.
Oh, does Freddie have another 1-drop here, or are we just?
I think that'll be intense. If you got it, I think you just got to put it in. If you just play it, if you have that ink remaining, I think you're just thinking about potentially crashing out with these 2 characters and clearing them. I think you got to clear the Robin Hood, even though you can't sing songs this next turn. Just get him off the board. That character can be quite obnoxious if you quest. He's probably going to trade with you.
If we do trade with these 2 characters, we remove the threat of a Rapunzel trap. Although one of these characters trading into Lawrence will be a free trade, so we can challenge back with the Daisy to still draw 3. But Braden's only at 4, and although Freddie's got a lot of time compared to Braden.
I think I agree with you there. I think that Daisy just sitting there so menacingly, Braden showing a heads up play, not exerting the Daisy, keeping that potential Rapunzel trap alive. We will clear the Lawrence and say, you know what? We will go ahead and clear this Robin Hood. You still have the Rapunzel trap active and available, and let's see if the punish is swift and immediate, or will there be some trepidation potentially. The Smee will survive the vibe check of the Daisy getting into this Smee, but Rapunzel here, is it that good? Another whole new world hard casted could be the punish, but that wouldn't be that bad for you either.
Yeah, I think Freddie playing this really smart, getting rid of those high value characters on the board of Braden. And we actually saw Braden on the previous turn opt to not quest with the Daisy to avoid giving further characters to the side of Freddie.
That was heads up. I was heads up thinking. You could tell he thought about it for a minute, pondered it, and realized that was probably the best solution. But now, even if he does have this Rapunzel, would you go for it? Is it even that good? to put all these cards into your hand to potentially get yeeted by a whole new world, as it looks like Daisy will go ahead and hit into the Smee, and you will say, we're putting 4. You know she's coming. Gifted with healing. Rapunzel wraps that hair around this Daisy, heals it up, gains 3 more cards to the hand.
Yeah, and I think this is pretty smart because there's no 5 singer on the side of Freddy, so it's not like we're going to instantly lose these cards to the discard from a whole new world. It would be a great cost to Freddy. And now we still have the option to get rid of this Smee, and the silver lining here is these Petes are permanent. There's no snake, there's no fox. They're a one use.
They're done.
Yeah,
they got to be done. If I see another Pete, I'm calling the judge. I think that's we're peated out. Everyone's all peated up, and I think that is good for all of us now. So we can play a nice, fair, wholesome game of Lorcana. It looks like Braden has probably 1 million cards in hand. I want to say the hand is quite juiced. Fred, there might be some world where Freddy just hardcasts a whole new world and just says, just blow it, just try to get some of that advantage out, because I think Freddy's only holding 3. Well, I know Braden's holding significant more than that. I can't quite tell how many cards are in hand.
Yeah, and we've been talking about it for a few turns, but I feel Braden's just really turned the corner in this game. He's got the board. He's got so many options, 2 Robin Hoods to shift on. And, you know, Rapunzel can just keep questing. And you know who's a great Rapunzel trapper?
Yeah,
Rapunzel.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So looking at this Pete, I think this Pete might have to just crash into Pete just to feel something and get him off the board, because, like you said, Rapunzel into Rapunzel is going to be, she can wear Rapunzel better than everyone. And Whole New World does reveal itself. So interesting indeed. Now the game is getting kind of weird. You got to clear this singer. There's a lot of threats to clear this area at this point in the game.
So Troubadour will sing for 4 here. We'll see what we've got. Just a Storm.
Storm will just pluck one of those Robin Hoods off. It looks like you're gonna. I think he's got. Has Braden played a song yet this game?
He has. He had that. Okay. He had that one big tempo turn with the Storm and the Strength of a Raging Fire, and he just inked another Strength of a Raging Fire, which to me seems. I would be holding on to those for dear life, getting rid of these characters.
Mm-hmm.
And we do see Miss Bianca come down. A great card from the new set. Only costs 4 with an ally in play.
And that Troubadour is representing that ally. So now I believe that Freddy's just trying to get some singers set up. And now you have 2 5-cost singers and a 4-cost singer with a Pete who is readied. I think this might be a good time. 2 cards left in hand, I believe. You know, one of which to be the Whole New World. And maybe Braden can negotiate that, a known entity of Whole New World. You could do another board flood of your own, potentially even quest this Daisy, potentially, as Pete is going to open up the pipes. It looks like no, Pete is just going to
quest. Okay. You know, both of these players are in a very interesting spot where if they don't deal with the opposing board, they're just going to get quested out on. So we'll have to see if Braden has stocked up on songs or if Freddy might be able to steal this one.
Absolutely. I think, and if I'm Freddy, I'm kind of keeping one eye on my lore total and one eye on Braden's board, because you can kind of put yourself in a position to just try to race one more time. If you can get a little bit more resource, you're only holding 2 cards in hand, one of which is the Whole New World. If you can blast that thing off, you can, no chance for Pete. I was about to say, as the Robin Hood comes on in on the shift, able to clear the Pete, gain some lore in the process, that puts you up at 8. Is that where you just quest, and that's not good enough, huh?
Yeah, questing here, it does look nice, but being able to do whatever you want with your singer, with your Bianca, and a Whole New World. We are hard casting Zeus here.
Okay, so he paid 4 for the hard cast on the Zeus, and you got to clear the Troubadour at a minimum, I would assume, just to get that guy off. It will cost you both of your Petes. Is that lore that you're willing to give up, or are you going to blade run a little bit and see if you can start trying to catch up? That's 2 lore or 2 challenges. What do you do here? I'm putting you on the spot, Loaf. How are you doing it?
Yeah, we got to keep clearing the board. We don't want Troubadour, because if a Whole New World with the aerial, which we know about, that is a looming threat here. We're setting ourselves up for maximum survival. You know, what do we look like in this whole new world? What's our role? Are we the winner or are we the loser in this whole new world?
I like that in this new world order that we're going in, and that strength, man. If he had that strength right now, he feels so comfy cozy with that aerial tucked into the discard pile. I'm sure he might be looking back at that inking. I don't know what the hand is, but he had a jillion cards in hand, and I bet he wishes he could have kept that strength of rage fire. But we go on. We don't dwell, and this is still a very, very precarious turn. Braden is a showman. We saw he had the song the whole time last time. Maybe he still got one right here to clear this aerial, but just going through all the other lines of communication before he executes that game plan. And it looks like we're thinking inks all exerted.
It looks like we might have been resolving a judge call because the Robin Hood didn't gain the lore right away. And we were just seeing what we missed in the process.
Is that a mandatory effect? Someone out there, maybe we gotta get some atmospherics on what's happening.
Yeah, we did just see a time extension too.
Okay.
Oh, and we had the second Zeus. Okay.
Gotcha. Okay, so he did have it all along as the Rapunzel's going to go ahead and sing, and then it looks like we're going to set up that quest here from Double Pete, and this could be where Braden can start to turn the tides as you're representing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 coming back next turn. That's 18. Is there a world your quest is daisied up right now?
I'm turning it sideways.
Oh, Daisy's getting loose. Yeah, that's me. I'm putting the kibosh on that, and Daisy's getting loose next turn.
It is so powerful to know your opponent's hand being 1 5 cost that they can't really do anything with, and 1 card. What are they going to do? What's the?
I mean, if you quest, what if you quest this Daisy and reveal Naveen, ukulele singer or something like that? Even I don't think that's that great.
I don't think it's good enough. Yeah. Honestly, if I'm Braden, I think I just burned 2 Zeuses. I'm glad to draw.
Yeah,
I'm glad to draw a new 7.
I'm sending. Yeah, you gotta send this Daisy. I think because I could be wrong. I think Braden is much more in tune with this strategy and this deck and this position. He's done such a great job of clawing back from that incredible start from Freddie. So I think I got to trust his instincts more than my own. But my nature is telling me to get this Daisy exerted and get that 2 lore onto the scoreboard immediately.
Yeah, we'll see which route we go down. And
it looks like he's running the numbers now.
We're doing the maths.
And there it is. The quest is going to use as well. So never punish. As you do have lethal damage on board. And Freddy's got to have a miracle here. That miracle is going to start with hard casting a whole new world. And you just hate to see it, it looks like. As we're ready that ink. And we're not going to Scoop City. I thought
I thought that was Scoop City too. Yeah.
We're not going to Scoop Veal, it looked like. And it's here shuffling. We're hand shuffling those 3 cards. One is whole new world for sure. A Naveen here wouldn't even be that great now. I don't think it was ever that great, but it's even worse now. 3 ink to work with after the whole new world resolved. You got to clear at least a character off because that's exact lethal damage. So you need maybe you can go character, and then that's all your cards. You know it's not a character strength play. I think it starts with hard casting this whole new world and hope for 2/1 cost and a strength. That's miserable odds.
I don't even know what gets us out of this because the bodies on Braden's side are they're big, they're wide, and I mean
beefy. They're thick, and it's looking like the Troubadour, who is a really cool card, but that 1/3 is doing absolutely nothing for you. We're holding, it looks like 1, 2 from Pete, 2 from Daisy, 2 from Robin Hood, and 2 from Rapunzel is representing 8. Braden sitting at 12. Game would come to a screeching halt. I think Freddie is sensing the writing is on the wall as Braden has to feel very, very good about how he negotiated a lot of the obstacles that Freddie presented that game, mainly being a triple Daisy start. Those Pete's were the play of the game. Those Pete's coming in when they did from both players' point of view, I think was paramount the way that worked out. So it looks like it looks like we got Freddie, who is still contemplating setting that 5 ink aside.
He does have 5 aside. not the place you ever really want to be. But yeah, I mean, credit to Braden, like you said, when you are staring down triple daisy and you have the grit and determination to just say, okay,
we're gonna play. let's keep going. I think that's a lot of people face that board and never live to tell the tale. But Braden seems like he weathered the storm. We're gonna go Lawrence into a whole new world rip, and you need Storm here. I think you gave yourself some outs. You have Storm or Strength can get you out of this, at least to stifle your opposition for a little bit more. But Braden will be able to flood the board even harder after that, as he has 7 new cards. So you're just out of the fire, out of the storm, out of the afraid into the fire. What's the phrase?
It's almost like we got out of the storm, so we're out of the snowstorm, but we're into the inferno now.
There you go. Something like that.
No safety.
And
Zeus.
Okay. Who we hitting here? I think you gotta blast this Robin Hood, unfortunately. Did my shirt just change colors? What happened here? What's going on? I'm looking at the stream. It's Luke. Is Luke trolling me?
I thought you were that good, JDZ.
Okay. No, that's not me. That's Luke trolling, I bet, because I got a green shirt. He's trolling.
I thought you were just on Taylor Swift levels of wardrobe change.
Hey, just costume change. I love it. Luke. Shout out to Luke, by the way. I'm sure he's having a good old. I could just see him just LOLing at this. I can't see his face, but I bet he's having a merry old time just chuckling at this. I love it. All right, so we did get to the out, and we were able to clear the board and break up the Lortho play. But now you got to. Oh my goodness! So that is the 4th and final Pete. And Brady says, "I've seen enough. We're done."
Farewell.
Wow, what an incredible game!
I mean, it was. I'm speechless, but I'm going to talk anyway. That Pete, the first Pete, got him, back in the game. His foot was in the door. He had an interview. And then the second Pete landed him the job. I mean, that was all he needed to make the baritone bully unable to sing A Whole New World and got him back in this game.
And they both went Pete for Pete. If like I see you, I raise you, I check, I raise you, and they were just pushing. And then he made that really incredible heads up play. Instead of trying to clear the baritone bully, he's like, let's just clear your board and I'll flood my own board. And if you want to sing me in, sing me in. I know these words very well. So I think Braden negotiated that quite smooth, man. And you rarely see Freddie get bested in the amber steel mirror, so he's got to be taking that one close to heart, especially after that super strong opening and being on the play. Braden has to feel very confident and capable going into this game number 2, knowing that if things don't go well, you have a game number 3 waiting as a safety net. So I like to see Freddie storm back in here. He's got a short-term memory. He's a pro. He's not going to come out and be tilted, but Braden has to have a little bit of extra confidence winning that game on the draw.
Yeah, I mean, both great talking points. Just like we saw Braden face down that triple daisy, Freddie has to just shake off that loss, get into this game too.
I'm sorry. I misspoke. I'm sorry. It was Braden who was on the play that time. Freddie was on the draw. So I was wrong. But still, taking that game, no matter what, triple daisy, you can be whatever you want to be, and usually you're going to walk out of that thing unscathed.
No, it was Freddie on the play because it was Daisy, double Daisy, and then it was Robin Hood, Smee, and then we had Gaston and Pete.
No, it should because it was the Illuminati lost game 2. Braden should have been on the play that last round. He should have been. If not, there was a mistake. I think it might have been a mix up if it was, but it should have been Braden on the play that time. Freddie was on the play. How did Freddie get on the play? Yeah, Freddie was on the play. Freddie should have been on the play. Am I tripping? Freddie was on the play. Freddie was on the play. I'm sorry. Illuminati lost, so Freddie got to go first. I'm losing it. Yeah, that's what it is. I'm sorry. My bad.
I think we need one more shirt change just to get back on track.
My bad. I'm losing it. Okay, long day.
There we go.
I need a pocket dog or something. I need a red egg or some water or something. There it is. We're good. We're back. I'm so sorry. No, we're good. I was tripping because you got to understand we're looking at it up and down. Okay, and when the stream, I'm looking at the stream and they're left and right, and it's just throwing my brain off a little bit. I got severe brain damage. Okay, give me a break. Okay, but yeah,
we got to get laser focused. We got to get locked in.
There you go. We got to get loose. Okay, let's get active. Let's stretch a little bit. Let's get those seat backs up. Okay, right now my seat back is laying down. I got the stewardess walking down the aisle, bumping my chair, telling me to put my seatbelt on. You know, all that kind of stuff. We need to wake up. Okay, I'm sleeping over here. Got my neck pillow on. What am I talking about, dude?
Game 2, round 3.
I got to trust my instincts. See, I was right the first time. Everything I said was right. Okay, Freddie was on the play. Okay, Braden was on the draw, and he took that one. Coming out, Daisy, Daisy, Daisy. Ooh,
yeah,
it's it.
And it ended up being Braden to be the first to play 4 Pete's.
Yeah, and we got another zoom in here. What is happening there? Like, what is causing that situation?
I made a joke about it, and you didn't even acknowledge it. This is it's a trap meme from Star Wars. Yeah.
You know what it is? I think he has like a face tracking camera. I've seen those before, those webcams, and it's attracted to the face on his sleeves. That's what's happening.
What about the face on his playmat? There's another face right there.
I know, man. I don't know why is it not hitting the hero face, but it's definitely going after the eyeballs on the sleeves because it keeps zooming in, and it's hilarious, dude. This is too fun. That's so good. I'd have to ask. I think that's what's happening because I think when they were doing the interview, Gabe and Chaotic Beats, it was showing. It was like tracking their face. The webcam was doing that.
Oh, okay.
So maybe it's like getting attracted to their. And we're gonna start. We're gonna start.
Not a repeat.
We're gonna start Cindy this turn. Okay. Now that you know that you're in the mirror, bringing that turn 1 Cindy is always going to be oppressive. As now you are the one. I am the captain now, showing my Daisy, and Daisy can withstand that turn 1 Cindy better than a lot of characters.
Well, to quote DeCandio, on the play you're Amber Steel aggro, and on the draw you are Daisy Duck control. So we'll see how Braden can navigate this.
And let's see. It worked out. It worked out great for him last time. So maybe it can work out again as we are going to get another Cindy down on into the inkwell, followed up by the Lilo Escape Artist with that beautiful alternate art, the glittery gloss from that gift set. I think that card looks quite cool. I think that's a nice little enhancement as Cindy is just going to quest in the face of this Daisy.
Yeah, and we actually saw Cinderella go into the inkwell, into play, and then into the inkwell again. So, Freddie, we got to see if he can develop more than a Daisy. And Troubadour, before the explosive start of last game, I was actually going to highlight this card because it is resilient against the Storm Rajon. It even takes an extra character with strength. And Braden being able to build a big body board again.
Absolutely. As we will go into this 3 ink turn, you put 2 on the Daisy. You could ink and hard cast another one to clear the Daisy, but is that good? You just spent a lot of ink and resources clearing a 1 cost guy before it can do that much damage to you. I think that's what Freddie might be gearing up to do, paying full value for strength. What do you think about that play? I guess you got to do what you got to do, I suppose.
Sometimes you do got to do what you got to do. Maybe Pete coming in to give us another turn. But it does look like the hesitation in Freddie's hand. Even worse.
Yeah, that's the strength. It's going to go ahead and blast this Daisy Duck. And we'll get a nice little quest in with the Lilo quest for 2. I don't hate it. I mean, that's 2 cards to clear a single copy of Daisy Duck, while this Troubadour is probably the real problem, who is now unopposed. He had to use a lot of resources to clear the other guys, and maybe the Troubadour can just do his thing as he's going to storm onto the Cindy.
Okay. Yeah, and that's the power of this Amber Steel deck is you have characters that quest, and then you have characters that sing to back them up. And here we see Braden being able to jump the curve a little bit, get some songs out there, and the Pete
is back. Oh no. The Pete wars continue as he comes out on curve, and now we have a problem as this Lilo Escape Artist really is still threatening the quest, as you do get a nice little super up tempo, I guess, playing all of your ink, got another singer out and another Daisy Duck back at it again. I don't know if it's Daisy Duck and quest because you can clear it with the combination of cards you have, but this Troubadour can sing another song.
Yeah, we do see Freddie up to not ink the cards in the hand, either uninkable or just that good. And Braden continuing to sing with his Troubadour, able to sing Zeus, able to sing whatever he wants besides the whole new world. We'll have to see what he's got.
But he elected not to do it. Maybe he's thinking, who do you Zeus here if you can? I'm probably going to take this Troubadour, right? If you could. I think that thing is just clearing those singers off is always going to be important, but it's going to be bare necessities, opening up the hand, and he hits the Zeus, revealing the baritone bully. That's a card that I think should start cycling back in. That bare necessities was a devastating backbreaker, revealing that why you didn't ink, you wanted to keep that baritone bully up, set up your nice top decks, but now the cat's out of the bag, and they know exactly what you're up to these days.
Yeah, so Braden, both of these games, ending up being the player who is controlling the board and able to get rid of whatever character he wants here with the Zeus.
Mm-hmm.
I do think the Troubadour is the best option here because a top deck song is really what could get Freddie back into this game. And we're going to see him probably develop the baritone bully. Oh, Ariel off the top.
Or not. I mean, man, I guess you could have went baritone bully there, and he grabs the whole new world almost immediately. I'm sure Braden does not want to see that in this type of situation. You felt like you had him right where you wanted him, but now Ariel is going to have to be public enemy number 1, and you got baritone bully public enemy number 2. If you can get this whole new world off, if you're Freddie, maybe you can get back into this game. It looks like you're starting to slowly fall behind yet again, as Braden is going to have to, it knows your entire hand, and we're going to have to negotiate that. Another bare necessities is just absolutely devastating here.
Yeah, honestly, really any song with this Ariel, and we're actually just going to rearrange the bottom 4 there, but any song from that Ariel being sung by the Troubadour would have been amazing there.
For sure. And maybe he didn't miss. Maybe it's one of those tactical whiffs. He's just like, I got my own copy of Whole New World. I'm just going to put it to the bottom of the deck because I don't want to get mine blown out by theirs. And maybe there's a world I can cycle that thing back up. I'm not sure. But Ariel does typically whiff, as we will show. You can elect not to resolve this effect and it shows a Whole New World. Oof.
Okay. Well, we got some good sequencing coming here. We got a lot of options because if we sing this Whole New World with the Ariel, we're looking for a couple things. We're looking for a song that we can either exert our inkwell for to maybe get rid of the opposing Ariel, or we're just looking for a Pete saying, let's play a fair turn on your turn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Pete, it looks like we got 3 coming in. It is the baritone bully is going to come out, and we're going to go ahead and do the thing, as they say, and we will lose a Rapunzel in the process and another Zeus. So the game starts over. Fresh game starts now. I'd like, if you just come out with a whole medley of ballads, you can also clear the Ariel. If you want to double up the Daisy Duck, you can clear that as well. But if you play your own Pete, Braden throws a Pete down here and sings a ton of songs, that's pretty disadvantageous for Freddie in this position.
Yeah, I don't think I love that baritone bully there. I think it might have been better to just see what was off the top, but we'll see how it plays out. Like you said, Braden being able to just have a ton of songs on the crackback here, singer 4, singer 5. We're working with potentially 6 in the inkwell. We might see a 10 ink, 12 ink turn, depending on what songs come out here.
And it is starting with Strength of Raging Fire. It looks like we're going to put 2 onto that IDL, who can then get swung on by this Troubadour if you felt so inclined. It looks like Troubadour will go ahead and knock the Ariel out. Baritone Bully is the next major threat. Let's see if we got something for him. It looks like Ariel's going to open up the pipes and blast him with the Strength of Raging Fire, so he's out of here. And now all of the singers have been reduced down to rubble, and you still have a full Monty of Inkwell that you can use. Who's coming in? It's going to be 2. Is it me?
I think we're just going to continue to go wide here. Neither of these players have revealed any sort of grab your swords in this match yet. And Naveen,
combination. Yeah, that's a game breaker right there. I think that might just get it done, as Braden is absolutely going off in the Amber Steel Mirror, hitting all of the markers, doing the absolute most, it seems, getting maximum use out of your cards, maximum use out of your ink, and just winning the high roll battle. That is brutality incarnate. Freddie's going to have to do something very cool to come back, as you're down in ink, you're down in board, tied in cards. Oh,
yeah, this is the final game of the match if Freddie doesn't find a way out of this game. So we're going to see him fight back, but the odds are against him. Braden has got a bunch of friends and one referee together to
That's not enough. He's got singers for days too. Pete is a great start to at least start trying to claw back into this thing. Troubadour will be nice to see here coming down, just to have somebody that can sing some tunes. It's going to be the Smee, the bumbling mate, who is not going to be doing enough. You're up in lore. That's one good thing you got going for you. You're sitting at 7. Daisy's going to elect not to quest, and you're going to go ahead and kick it back on over to Braden, whose board is just a mess with a medley of characters. Look at all those songs that you can sing, man. That's a lot.
Yeah, especially refilling the hand with a whole new world after spending all your ink. I can't imagine Braden is short on options here. And interestingly enough, we've seen Braden take the same strategy on the draw 2 games in a row here of staying on 0 lore. You know, he's got time to quest way later.
For sure. And it seems like we're going to go 7. What are we playing? Is that Cinderella Stout-Hearted coming out on 7? No, it's Robin Hood plus the Smee. I was about to say, oh, man. Usually they play them one at a time, but he just went ahead and put both of the characters down at once, utilizing all your ink, but not expending too many resources from hand. And you'll go ahead and start trying to play this quest game now into the face of this Pete. So putting your opponent in an awkward spot. Rapunzel traps are uniquely placed all over the field of play and challenging back in. I think you might have to just double dip this Robin, or you can't even double dip the Robin Hood. I hate to see it. Naveen has to go. This is ugly. This is ugly. Rapunzel trap is set for you though. Daisy can get you 3 more cards, but is that even that good?
Yeah, Daisy can draw, but we're lacking the singers. The pipes are not on the side of Freddie for this one.
Man, my prediction is looking terrible, as it looks like Freddie has to just start walking up Mount Everest to get back into this one. This game is, I'm never going to say it's over, but it's looking like it's headed straight into Scoop Town, Scoop City, imminent.
Yeah, you know, my prediction's looking pretty darn good.
Yeah, the Lorcana Loungers logo. I think the poo just winked at me. Yeah. I glanced down.
It's going to take a monumental collapse for this thing to fall apart. As I know Freddie, I mean, I've seen Freddie pull off some miracles before, some haymakers, if you will. He's not a slouch. You know, he's a very strong, competent, capable player. But this mirror is quite volatile, and it definitely went Braden's way. But I'm not taking anything away from Braden. He played this thing remarkably well, knowing when to push, knowing when to be aggressive, when to sing, when to quest. Absolute textbook deployment of the Amber Steel strategy, in my opinion, based on the games that I've seen so far. Absolutely great gameplay. If you can get another Pete here, that could be a good sign to start this thing over. Maybe I had to get a combination of some grab your swords type beats, as we will just show the storm off the aerial.
Yeah, we'll have to see where we go with this, because the storm can only take out the Pete currently as it stands, and that, as bad as it sounds, that's the least threatening card on Braden's board. And anything that Freddie exerts here, Robin Hood is happy to munch on.
For sure. And then you got a Rapunzel trap on top of that too. So Pete, the game's referee, doing his thing. He will blow the whistle, then turn around and sing a strength for 4. That can clear the singer area. We're going to find herself into the discard pile. But they still got mad singers left. So let's see if you can continue to pluck away.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to reduce the lore on the side of Braden. Maybe get rid of this Naveen. That's a singer and a quester. And
tough spot is Smee, who is going to go ahead and get into the Naveen. That's not bad, as you're starting to disassemble this board a little bit, but that Robin Hood hiding behind that Smee just looks so menacing, looking ready to just put Rapunzel on his back, gain some lore, and draw 1 billion cards as well. Is that the line, though, with this aerial set up to potentially sing a whole new world? I'm not sure. Stay tuned to find out, as what is Brady going to do? He's been playing remarkably. He's just trying to get over the finish line in this all-important match number 3 of the ICL, and Robin Hood's going in.
Yeah, this is the beginning of the end. Are we even going to get the dice if we have the Rapunzel, or are we just going to?
Oh, and the 4 comes in, you already know it was coming, and there she is. The gifted with healing Rapunzel goes for a full 3-piece chicken McNugget. And do you have the songs here that you can in theory blast this entire board with the amount of songs and singers. Strength is full value. The Raging Fire will hit for 6 right now with the amount of characters on board, and it looks like one song's coming in. It's going to be the Bare Necessities again. You get a sneak peek the hand. Oh, oh, oh. And you can nab this whole new world if you felt so inclined. Bare Necessity seems quite good.
Yeah, I agree with the strength take here. I think Braden has been in position all match long to say, go ahead. Let's draw some cards. And Robin Hood, Rapunzel, I mean, name a more iconic duo.
That is just you're talking about rotation. Get them both out of here. There it is. Get this whole deck out of here. Leave them with Pete, huh? And just let's move on. Let's play another game, huh?
Yeah.
Get the whole deck out of here because it's gone.
You know,
it's gone. Okay.
You brought up one R word that's coming up, which is rotation, but you forgot about reprint.
Hey,
okay. On the Robin Hood.
Get it. Let's go. I'll have to say we might have to pull that up. Captain Hook 1-drop reprint. We might have to pull that up. I have not seen it, as it looks like Freddie just take this thing right on down to Scoopville as Braden gets to the dub. What an execution of gamesmanship coming in from Braden's point of view, as Freddie has to be demoralized and devastated after that loss on the color combination. But we're going to hop on in. Let's mute ourselves in VDO and let's get into the. And gentlemen, fantastic matchup coming in from you both. Amber Steel versus Amber Steel in that mirror. And we're going to kick it over to the winner, Braden, who came out. And I got to say, you played that expertly well. I enjoyed every minute of watching that matchup. I think you did exactly what you needed to do. The cards kind of flowed your way. But can you just talk about Amber Steel? Is there any tech in your deck? It seemed quite stock, quite standard. And just kind of talk about how that deck's been treating you here in this new set 7 meta.
Sure. So I played. I've been playing Amber Steel since like the game came out, but I in set 3 at one of the first big tournaments at the Peru release weekend at one of the Star City Games events. My friend, I did really bad in the first 2 days. On the third day, my friend sat me in a hotel room for 8 hours and taught me how to play Amber Steel. And it's kind of like riding a bike. You just never want to forget once your friend bullies you to learn how to play. I also think I play Emerald Steel a lot, and so that also teaches you how to play the song decks. You kind of learn how to play the Peats and make those sorts of sequences. So it's a deck I really like to pick up when I think it's good, and it's really fun to play. Rapunzel is like one of the most fun cards in the game, I think. So anytime I get to play Rapunzel and let the Storm Rage on, I'm pretty happy.
Absolutely. And you were on the draw in both of those games, and I don't know if you know much about your opponent, but he's an absolute powerhouse on the Amber Steel strategy, doing very well in the mirror. And you just came out and did what you had to do, and you managed to withstand one of the most obnoxious openings that Disney Lorcana has, in the triple daisy coming out. Can you just talk about your feelings and your emotional roller coaster you must have went through seeing your opponent blast daisy, 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 and then how you had to get through that, and talk about the effectiveness of that Pete in this matchup?
Sure. So when it comes to the daisies, I don't want to sound a certain way, but I actually think questing with the daisies in this matchup is really rough. You really don't want to do it. Obviously, when you have 3 daisies, you don't really get much of an option because the texture of your hand is such that you kind of only can do one thing because it's pretty linear. So when I saw the first daisy and I saw I quested with it, I was actually like kind of happy. And but then as like the second and third daisy started questing, it really did start to become a problem for me. I was able to get those Peats because of the daisies, and the Peats were huge because they let you sort of like develop to the board and slowly pull ahead and use the cards that you actually are drawing. Because like normally you play the card, they kill it. You play the card, they kill it. But when you have the Peats out, you actually start to like get further and further ahead, and then you just have to get to a position where you can sort of like become the control deck in the matchup that you want to be, and the daisies are just sort of like making that easier for you. So really, you just have to survive and hope that the whole new world never comes, and the Peats help you do that too. So it's really fun to play. I mean, that level of stress you get when you have like a Robin Hood, a Smee, and a Pete out, and there's 3 daisies, and you're like, all these cards trigger Rapunzel. If he has Rapunzel, I just lose. And trying that like level of stress is really fun. That's like what card games are for, right? The high variance games are the most fun.
For sure. But I got Lofi as well. I like to hog all these questions in the interview if you can't tell. But I got Lofi, and we saw that again. I got to say, I like the way you negotiated those obstacles. But Lofi, what are some things that you saw from your perspective, man, about the way Braden engaged with those two games?
Yeah, I really love the way Braden actually put it. The texture of your hand is such that you don't have options. And I got to throw it over to Freddie because it was very clear your hand was triple daisy into the Gaston, into the whole new world. And you almost had enough Pete's of your own to pull it off. I mean, what were you thinking after you saw the second Pete?
After the second Pete, I was like, if he's got a third one, it's game. It's a wrap. There's no coming back because by that time he's either gonna draw into a strength or find a Zeus or something, and the Gaston's gone, and I'm gonna hard cast this thing, which I think is what I had to do. I don't remember, but yeah, kept one Daisy, got two more off the mall. I was like, wasn't the plan, but you got to play what you get.
You got to play the cards you get. Okay.
Oh,
go ahead.
Sorry. I was gonna bring up. We were talking before the match how Amber Steelsong just keeps getting more and more options, and both of you guys opting for this Miss Bianca. Freddie, if you want to go first, what are some of the new cards Troubadour Bianca bring to this deck?
Troubadour's awesome. He's to me, he's a better Ursula. Sure, you lose the Rapunzel value, but I mean that resist one comes into so much play. It's crazy. The Bianca, she's been fun. I mean, I swapped. So it's funny. The deck that Braden's on right now is more or less what I was running on Sunday, but I kind of pivoted back to a no shift build just to see if I could go faster, which we almost got there game one, but I knew if I was getting the mirror and he was playing the hood line, it was not going to look good. That the way I'm running it right now kind of loses hard into the mirror. But that's the way it goes. Sometimes you win them, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you get smoked by your own colors.
For sure, it happens, man. Again, that's how the game is played from time to time, man. We're not. No one's taking anything away. Another card I want to mention. I want to get both of your guys' insight on that. Braden, you played this Bare Necessities. That card kind of fell out of favor. I think it's coming back. I think it's well positioned. Can you just talk about it from the player perspective? And Freddie, can you talk about that as another Amber Steel icon level player? Can you just talk about your thoughts on that card? Do you think it's worth the spot and how effective it was versus you? Just giving up that information and also ripping some cards from your hand in this mirror match. We'll start with you, Brady.
Oh, sure. So I think if you've ever played Diablo, which I've played a lot of Emerald Steel, that's my main deck, you really know how valuable information is. It lets you sequence your plays to take advantage of the weaknesses of your opponent's hand. And when combined with Pete, it means that the Pete's can lock the action cards in your opponent's hand, and the Bare Necessity can back it up and take those actions after you run out of Pete's, as well as giving you the opportunity to maybe play around to a Rapunzel they have. There was a turn where I was really afraid of Rapunzel, but I looked at his hand, saw there was only a Gaston, and I was like, oh, cool. I can just completely ignore that. And if he doesn't rip it, I'm just win this game on the back of that. So just the information is super valuable, maybe even more valuable than the rest of the card where it says you get to take a song.
Oh, okay. What about you, Freddie? Is that a card that you've tried in the past? You don't really like it, or it was very effective here? What do you think about Bare Necessity?
I mean, it's great in the mirror. It's great into discard decks too. I mean, we had a version that me and the Zeef built last week where we ran 2 bears, 3 benjas, and some other crazy stuff. But that was more teching for if we run into discard, we'll use it there. But it was more for a red-blue item build, because that's kind of going a little crazy down here in South Florida. So I didn't want to auto lose to red-blue, which if you look at my Twitter and see my list from Sunday, yeah, I ran the 3 benches, but I ended up cutting the bears for 1 Sonic Warrior because I was a little worried about the Cherna dogs running around. Even though I don't know if that one really helps or not. And then I added also 1 Naveen just for giggles, just to see what it was. And he ended up getting cut today. But Naveen's also really good in the mirror. But that guy plagues me. I draw him at the absolute worst times. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I know he's either the best card or he's the worst card. But
I
like the match, man. Unfortunately, didn't go your way, Freddie. Braden, you did everything you needed to get this thing done. But I'm gonna kick back on over Loaf. Loaf, you got any other questions you want to ask before we start to wrap this thing up on ICL on a Wednesday and get over into the post game show?
I just want to say thank you guys for competing today. Great matches you guys put on. And Braden, do you have any shout outs you want to start us off as the winner of the match?
Yeah. So shout out to the loungers. We're just a big group of like way too many people that hang out in Discord all night and play with each other, and that's all really fun. We have a charity stream coming up on the 14th that I know Wonderland's going to want to talk about, but we're going to be battling ETB, and we're playing for the charity Partners in Health, which brings healthcare to people around the world. So I'm really looking forward to that.
That's pretty cool.
Nice.
14th next week. Come see us play. I don't have the whole team ready because we haven't locked in, but I'll be there. I'll be playing for Partners in Health, and I'm really excited about it.
Very nice, very nice, very nice. All right, we got the whole squad here. Squad up in the building up there from the Illuminati. I picked you guys to come out and sweep. Okay, I'm now you guys make me eat my words. Okay, because I have so much faith and confidence in Illuminati. Taking nothing away from the Lorcana Loungers. I do feel very confident and capable with you guys, but you guys let me down. Any shout outs you want to give Illuminati?
Shout out to you. Don't pick us again to sweep. That was an absolute curse. We were watching the pre-show and we were like, "Oh no, this isn't gonna go well."
Right, I won't do it again. I'll lose my confidence. I got all the confidence in you, Freddie and Gabe. Chaotic Beats, you did what you needed to do, but everyone else, okay, next time, fellas, next time. I won't pick you guys this week. I'll curse the other team next time.
There you go. You know, the little reverse curse type of thing. Nah, shout out to the rest of the crew. You know, we're playing every night, building, getting ready for set champs, getting ready for whatever events are around the corner. I know SSG's got their Jafar event at the end of the month. We're gonna try to see if we get a couple guys go out to CCS. Maybe even show up to that Texas tournament. That'd be pretty cool if we could get that done. But you know, like I said, we last time we got the best team in South Florida, man. We have a lot of fun. We got 1 million members. Maybe some secret ones that you don't know about yet. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see next round. We'll see next round. We might have a little surprise for you guys.
Let's go.
Looking forward to it.
But yeah, and then shout out to everyone in South Florida. We got the hardest locals around. You want to sharpen your tools? Come down here. You'll have a lot of fun. Everyone's a killer down here. And then thanks to you guys for running this. And hey, congrats on the world's announcer, JD. That's awesome.
Thank you guys again. I really appreciate it, man. Shout out to Southside Gaming as well for allowing me to demonstrate my skills in the booth, man, and kicking out there in that last event. Hopefully I'm not a stranger. I can get out there. Maybe I can get there in person someday and kick it out there. I wanna get out there and rock it sometimes. But again,
can we get a little JD versus Gabe grudge match at SSG?
I'm down.
Caster versus Caster?
Hey, you know, Gabe, when I take the jacket off, when I take the blazer off, when I take the headphones off, I turn into a whole nother beast. Hey, I got some claps, okay? I got some squabbles. Hey, Freddie, I saw you flexing. Okay, I'll flex a little bit too now. I got mine too, big dog. And I didn't pay for this. You guys can't see it. We got green screen over here, but I didn't pay for this. Hey, this is my. I don't know if I can see that.
I can't see my wife's in the way on the TV. I can't see.
Okay,
hold on.
Hey, well, just know it's my set championship mat. You know what I'm saying? I got me one too.
Oh, look at you!
Hey, I got my claps up too. So Gabe, if you ever want it, meet me in the dojo, dude. I got something for you. Okay.
My man came in one shot the set champs. Let's go.
Let's go. No, I'm kidding.
Awesome.
I'm kidding. Hey, we're not in South Florida, so it don't count, right? Because you guys got this talent down there. We got
everything counts. Everything counts.
No, I'm kidding. But gentlemen, seriously, man, coming into the ICL, you guys putting on the show for us. We truly appreciate it. Everyone at home watching it always has a lot to say about the ICL, and you guys taking your time to be a part of this is always going to be something that means a lot for the community. So thank you for coming out, putting on the show, and we all do appreciate it. So thank you guys both. Braden, congratulations again on your victory. The Lorcana Loungers coming out, getting to the absolute Dublinsky. And we truly appreciate it, fellas. So we'll let you guys go, and we'll hop back in and start trying to close the show, man. And you guys put on a fantastic show tonight. We all will support you for that. Thank you for that.
You guys have a great night. Take care.
For sure. So we'll hop back into the video real quick. Into the booth, but Loaf.
Yep.
Thoughts on that match, dude? Thoughts on the game? What do you think?
We talked about at the start of that match how one-sided that match can look if you're on the back foot, and despite Braden being on the back foot, he was on the front foot. I mean, he was the one who turned it around. And it looks like we've got some Reign of Jafar up here.
Oh, look at that. There is a reprint. Is that a reprint?
Yeah, that's the forceful duelist up there
That's
on the right.
that's another reprint reveal. That's the first reprint I've seen revealed beyond the ones that they've already shown us, and that artwork is clean. So Captain Hook is back, and he will be joining us for another year at least. I like that. That's a good sign. I was kind of worried that they wouldn't be reprinting any common cards. It would always be like this high level stuff, but they're bringing in some of these iconic commons along with this new Emerald Steel Captain Hook. I think they're trying to make that the pirate color.
Pirate King. Yep.
Let's go. Let's go. Very cool.
They're continuing with the damaged character and resist theme that they've got going on.
I'm with it, man. I'm with it. Once during your turn, whenever an opposing character is damaged, your pirate characters get +2 strength and gain resist 2. This guy with Pirate Hook, Space Pirate Pete, game's over. You can't lose.
Combo.
Oh my goodness, wombo combos all around. Yo, Ranger Jafar is about to be a mess, dude. Holy. What are we gonna do?
I don't know. And you were talking about reprinting commons. It's possible that the Fabled reprint set is just massive, right? Maybe they print additional cards because they've already got them made. Most of the legwork's done. Just put them in there.
Just throw a little piece in there. Just make the set a little bit bigger. I would like to see a few side sets if I had it my way, coming from the Yu-Gi-Oh background. Instead of just like the main core set, you just have like a little variety pack set with just a bunch of reprints in there, different artwork. There's so much they can do, man. I'm excited for the future of this game.
Yeah, absolutely.
But before we let you go, man, I'm sure we could talk all night. I really enjoyed the time we shared here in the booth, man. I like your take on this commentated thing. I like your energy. I like your knowledge, man. You got some great analysis. But where can I find you? Have you got some social media in your life yet, or are you doing
I'm still no social media.
I like it.
You can find me here on the ICL, the 20 lore streams, and before I go, I did just want to say, thank you to everybody who puts this together. We got the players coming together. We got the judges. We got the casters. We got the production team. And, I'm just humbled to be here in this collaborative effort.
Mm-hmm. Very, very cool. I love to see it. I love to see it, Loaf. But again, thank you so much for being here. And Luke and Ellie, who are Cape and Judge tonight and production tonight. I truly appreciate you guys and all of your tremendous effort, and everyone at home watching, all of the likes and all the follows and all the things of that sort. So it looks like we're going to get out of here. I don't think there's going to be a post-game show. Not tonight. Okay, we're wrapping it and we're getting out of here. So thank you guys. We're going to Backseat Geniuses, and thank you guys again for tuning into the ICL. Until next time, I'm JDZ. I'm on a quest. Follow me on Twitch and on Twitter and on X and all that stuff. Till next time, peace. We're out of here. Backseat Geniuses, you're up. Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.